What's going on, guys? We just drove through the night. We left the house at roughly 11. I drove till about 5 o'clock. Now it's 11 the next day, and we're going to go get a boat from Illinois. So it was about I think a 14 or so hour drive. As you could tell, it's not Florida outside. But yeah, it actually snowed this morning where we're going, and we're gonna go get a larger Triton. We're gonna get a TR21. The reason we're getting a TR21 is my TR20 was just a little too small for the way I had it set up. And with my big tournament trail coming up this year and trying to do the Bassmaster Opens, BFLs, ABAs, Toyotas, a big bass tour event, and whatever the heck else I decided I wanted to do, I needed to get that sorted out. I also needed to get a vehicle sorted out, so that's supposed to happen Monday. There's a dealership I found that has a good vehicle. They've been a pain in the butt, but the Triton I found last night, I reached out to the guy like right away, trying to get this resolved this weekend because I realized I'm on a time crunch. In the past, for my other TR20 versus this TR21, I had months. It took me several years, actually probably 2 years, to get the boat completely set up how I wanted it. A lot of that was because things I had to buy, I saved up for in between when I bought it and now, so I slowly added to the boat. But it still takes a very long time to completely rewire boats, completely redo all the pumps in boats, add electronics, add mounts and this and that, redo carpeting, jack plate, power poles, get a motor mounted, make mounts for the power pole pumps inside the boat, make mounts for batteries, this, that, whatever. All that takes a very long time to get it all sorted out. And being on a time crunch, it's mid-November. The first tournaments of my year kick off early January, which means I'm going to be trying to pre-fish by mid-December, late December. And so that means I have roughly a month until I'm going to be trying to pre-fish. And so if I don't get a boat like now and get it done with, I won't have a boat come tournament time. So I figured, well, we need to get this done, and we need to get it done now, because we'd kind of looked at stuff. We'd looked at all different sorts of stuff, TR21s. We'd looked at a handful of Phoenix hulls. There was a Phoenix hull that was like salvaged or whatnot for like 15. We looked at all different sorts of things, and this popped up last night. I talked to the guy. He said he'd do 15. It's got a good motor. It's got an Ultrex. It's got all sorts of C-deck padding on the boat. It's pretty bad to the bone. The only thing is, he said the trailer's not in the best shape, but that's kind of how it goes when you buy a used item. So I'm making this video to show you guys kind of what goes into the process of getting a used boat, getting it set up to fish tournaments out of, and kind of what all you got to do to get a boat bad to the bone from scratch. Obviously, it's got some rigging and wiring and whatnot in it from the boat itself already, but the second I get the boat and I get it home, I'm going to have to do a ton of work. I'll probably have to redo the whole live well system. I had to do that on my other TR20, so I had to make aerator hoses, swap all the pumps and everything, pump in, pump out, and recirc pumps. Had to add plumbing because my TR20 only had pump in and pump out. So it only pumped fresh water in or pump water out of the live well. So I added a recirc to it. Plus, if pumps are bad, they can be kind of a pain in the butt to change sometimes when they're way down there in the bottom. And then there's all different sorts of odds and ends you can add to boats. You can add in like a twist plug to where it's got like a cable system. That was on my other boat. I custom built a bracket in the back of my other Triton to connect both of my power pole mounts to. Yeah, there's just all sorts of stuff that goes into it, and a ton of like crazy work that I had to do to kind of get that thing to where it's at. So just going to show you guys the process and what all it takes to get that done. If you're buying a boat new, just from scratch, and you know, I guess showing you guys how I get it all set up, and things I learned and things I you know, whatnot from the past that I'll be applying to this boat, things I do different, and hopefully just helping people out when you get a new boat or you're looking for a new boat on what the heck you do and what you want done, and the things that you know, at least I want done on a boat that I would want now, because I've had a few boats at this point, and I kind of know what I'm looking for. So anyways, that's the deal. We're gonna go try and pick up this we're not gonna try, we're planning to pick it up. We got cash in hand, hopped in the car last night, and I think it was like a 14+ hour drive to somewhere in Illinois. So yeah, but that's kind of how it rolls. When the listing's right and things are right and you can get the right price, especially if you're on a time crunch, you get it done. So that's what we're doing. But anyways, we're gonna get this boat and yeah, get back to Florida, start working on it. So as you can see, we still got some ice in the boat. It is indeed still kind of frozen. We're gonna get this up. It was actually covered in snow. It's just kind of hard to get a really good look at it. There's still ice all over the boat. TR21. It's got an 08 Optimax product test on the back. I'm not the biggest fan of Optimaxes. I ran an Optimax on a flats boat in the past and had some issues with it, but it's got an Ultrex on it, so we'll take that off. The motor's gonna go. We're gonna take it and put my my jack plate and all my goodies on here. I'm gonna have to rewire it and do all sorts of stuff. The trailer is also not in the best shape, so we're gonna probably snag a new trailer for it, because that is not the best. That sort of stuff can be welded. This sort of stuff can be fixed, but it's really just not worth it if you're trying to go the right way. If possible, you might as well just get a new trailer at this point, because there are a lot of spots in the trailer that are really iffy and whatnot. So it is what it is. My TR20 I have has a lot of the same issues. It just kind of is what it is on an older used boat like that. But the boat itself is in pretty good shape. You know, there's some dings and scratches and whatnot here and there. We settled for 14 on it. You know, the keel could be a little in better shape in some places. You know, nothing, a keel guard and one of the like protection plates up here like I have on my TR20. It's nothing that those can't fix though, so it is what it is. We're on our way back. And then I'm going to start working on things come here in the next couple days, and you know, the next following months. There's actually a lot of stuff that needs to be done still, even outside of wiring. A lot of these the actual hatch, these guys, the little handles themselves need to be replaced. A lot of the hatches don't have the gas shocks, or the ones that do have gas shocks are kind of in condition. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and things like that, just to kind of doll it up and make it all good come tournament time. As you can see, there's some wear to things around the edges and whatnot. Things can be tightened up and things can be done a little cleaner. But that's kind of all what you can expect buying a used boat. There's going to be a lot of things that are probably not perfectly spot on, especially if it's an older boat. It's just kind of how it goes. At least the hatches themselves are in good conditions, like the hatch lids. So that's good. There is a spare console for it, so we do have that in the back of the van. So I'm going to probably clean up all that excess stuff we got hanging out over there and doll that up a little better. But yeah, seats can be replaced. All different sorts of odds and ends, which are all simple fixes. All these I'm going to have to put new panels in place of all this stuff. And so things like that are going to have to be changed. I'm going to have to move this stuff around to get a 16 to fit. I think that's set up for an HGS Carbon 12. I have a 16 there, so I'm also going to have to put Panther mounts up front. And as you can see, there's just some out-of-date stuff that'll go. This is going to go, you know, all different sorts of stuff. We'll end up, you know, moving around. We also have the manual jack on the back, which is going to go. Obviously, the motor is going to go. These are for power poles. drilled out for power poles, so I'll probably put grommets in or something like that if I do end up using those holes. If not, I'll cover them. But yeah, so just to kind of give you a quick premise, there's a lot of stuff like that that you end up having to fix and work around to make things work when you use both, and kind of get it to just a really nice condition. So there's a bunch of different stuff like that I'm gonna have to do. First thing's probably finding a new trailer so I can safely tow it down the road. It's safe now. It's safe, but not in good condition. So not something that I feel confident hopping in the car to go, you know, put, golly, a couple thousand miles on for a tournament. You know, if I'm going to New York or wherever, you know, that's not really something you want to be driving around on. It's just a little sketchy. So yeah, trailer's probably first, and then we're gonna get the motor swapped out. Then I get to do wiring. Live well stuff's gonna change, so I gotta redo all the plumbing on that. Pump in, pump out recirc, new pumps at least if I don't redo all the plumbing. So if the hosing's still in good condition, you know, whatever, I can work with that. If not, I'll end up redoing all of that. Probably making new aerator nozzles and all that, because the last thing you want come tournament day is to go to run a live well and not have a proper running, good working live well system. So there's a lot of things like that that need to get done on a boat like that. Other things you can work around and get by without doing. Active target boxes will need to be mounted. I'll have to make a wiring harness for all my graphs to be able to run all that stuff. Probably make another custom box thing for my power pole pump housings and stuff like that in the back, and my battery charger to keep it off of the bottom of the boat. So there's all different sorts of stuff that I have to go. I'll also end up stripping all the other wiring out, so I'll have to take apart, probably end up taking the cap off, which goes to the gas cap, probably putting a new fuel gauge on. There's just a lot of stuff that has to happen to get it done. Ready to get on back and then start working on things, and yeah, go from there. So just like that, we've splashed it in the water. She's a little bit more loud than the Suzuki. We're just gonna plop it in, do a little test run here now that we got down to Florida. We drove through the night, and now it's about go time. Just to go, you know, check the motor and whatnot, you know, see if it's worthwhile to put this on the other boat or sell it or whatnot. The trailer's in really rough condition, so I've been looking at different and new trailers already. So we're gonna have to figure a trailer out, but outside of that, so far everything looks decent. The motor's got a little bit of a squeak to it. Maybe you'll be able to hear it. Let's see. No, it kind of went away. So there was a squeak going on when we started. Haven't really heard that with my past 2 strokes or the other Optimax we had, so not really sure what that could be. It already went away, but we'll see. So we're gonna go run it, and then we're gonna head back to the house and start working on some stuff. So update, it ain't but 3 hours since we've made it back into Bradenton, and we found a listing for a Triton boat trailer, TR21 boat trailer. He listed it for $3. It's in good condition. He said he just put new wheels and tires on it, new rims and tires. The listing says that all the bearings and seals and stuff are good too. So I talked to him on the phone. I offered him $2 for it. He said 2 was too low. After we talked for a little bit, he said he'd do 2.5 kind of right out the gates, and I was like, yeah, not quite for me, especially since it's an 8-hour drive because it's in South Carolina and we just got home from a 14 to 16-hour drive, depending on, you know, how many stops we made. Anyways, so I was like, look, I'd feel good about 2, pretty much any higher. I don't know about that. So finally he just was like, well, we could do 22.5. I didn't know if I still wanted to go for 22.5. Wait a little bit, thought about it, and then decided to go for 22.5. So now we're on the way up there. Me and Josh are gonna jump in the car and head on up 8 hours, probably get back at 2 or 3 in the morning and work tomorrow. And the reason that this is now something that we're getting done now is because on the way back, this whole bunk side snapped off. So as you can see how it's supposed to have that guy, when we got to the boat ramp to put the boat in, this snapped off while backing it in. Not from the boat or anything, but it just snapped off. And then, as you'll be able to see, that is completely broken free, which is the whole, one of the big main beams for the whole underside of the trailer, and what's actually supporting the whole boat and this from just falling and touching the ground right now is the bunk, since it's still connected to the bunk. So this can't flex off, just thanks to the bunk and this being solid. So this is also only held on by a little teeny bit, so it is not safe to really drive around right now. So we are we're gonna go get another trailer, get that taken care of, and then be done with. Plus, like I showed you guys earlier, there are other spots on the trailer that are just not in good shape. So, you know, motor ran good, boat hit 75, a little, like right on 75 or a little over 75. When I just hopped on pad and just gave it a little bit of gas, I honestly had probably a whole third of the pedal left or more. So we're gonna hop in the car, we're gonna head up there, get a trailer, get it all said and done with, and start taking more stuff off this boat. We started stripping it down a little bit. We took a bunch of the hatch lids off and whatnot, started cleaning up some of the wiring on the inside. There was old LED wiring. And there's a bunch of little things that we'll have to get taken care of. Like this hatch is pretty beat up. I don't know who did the wiring job in it, but that's pretty sad, honestly, to drill that many holes to do wiring. And if they would just learn how to use a hole saw, that would have been nice too, but that wasn't quite the case. So we got to tear it up, do a little extra to it. You know, all these panels are going to come out and all that, but cleaned all these out, got those done with, got the old wiring out. We got to get new gas, the gas shocks and stuff like that I talked about. And on my other boat, I pulled all the rod tubes out to be able to fit more rods. So we got stuff like that to do first. And then cosmetic stuff like tightening these up and actually putting screws in them, screwing screws all the way down instead of having so much play in them. Stuff like that, you know, get things like that going first, clean up the sides and whatnot. Get the trolling motor off, get mine on. I'm going to tear out all this wiring in the back. I finally got a better look at kind of a live well system. One pump's pretty good. I think it's a 750, which is what I like to use. The Johnson 750 pumps or 1000 pumps are the best you're going to get. So he could stay. All the other Adwood pumps and whatever this is, the Roman ones or whatever the heck, Tsunami, yeah, those are all going to go. But the hosing and plumbing itself looks pretty good. All these are going to go. It's all gone. Batteries are gone. This is going to go. So it's going to clear up, and then I got to make wiring harnesses and all sorts of stuff. But we're going to hop in the car. We're going to go get on the road because it is a long drive. Josh is going to come with me. He was a little on the fence, but he said, you know what, let's go. So we're going to go up there, get it done, and then make our way back, tow this thing, and get everything all swapped out, and then start reworking it. Well, 8 hour, 7-minute drive back, 500 miles. We'll be back at probably 4 to 5 in the morning, depending on how many stops we make. We got the trailer. Let's see if we can light this up real quick. So we got the trailer. It's in much better condition than the other one. There's a little surface rust and whatnot, but all this can be sanded down. That's basic stuff. You're gonna see that on pretty much any, you know, 20-plus-year-old
Head northwest on Old
trailer.
Charleston Road.
Basic surface rust. Simple, not bad. Everything's in pretty good condition.
Head southwest on Crowd Place Road toward Old Charleston
Bought it for
Road.
$22,500. It's got, you know, new wheels and all that good stuff. It does have some working trailer lights. It's all probably gonna get replaced though. And for the most part, the trailer's in pretty darn good condition. At least way safer to go down the road. As you can see, it's not obliterated and rusted out. That's still just surface rust. It's a little bit more, you know, but it's really not that bad. Almost all the Triton trailers I've bumped into, all the actual wheel wells have some rust on them too. So as far as this goes, my personal TR20 I own now is in much worse condition than that. My whole side on the one side's like completely snapped off. The bunks are pretty solid and whatnot. So good condition for what it is. Good quick save. Set up for a TR20, so I don't have to rework any of the bunks like crazy or anything like that. You know, I'll slap a new winch on it and things like that. But as is right now, I should be good to go. So that's at least a big plus. We're gonna hit the road, head on back to the house, and yeah, we're gonna get back late. We're gonna have to go to work in the morning, but hopefully this work week's gonna be real productive. We're gonna see. Probably gonna be tired to start out, but we're gonna have to get as much done on this boat as we can in about a month. So we're gonna hit the road and get back to Florida. So we started by just pulling basic stuff off. We pulled these old, they're boat buckles off the back, and then we pulled all the bunks off. We're gonna get these sides off and stuff here in a sec. But that's kind of what you're working with, especially if you're not using stainless steel hardware. You're gonna have bolts pretty much just completely rust out, and those are all from through these holes. So we're getting all that replaced, and yeah, pretty bad. So we're getting those replaced. We're gonna get new bunks on. Josh is gonna do some welding because Colin and him found these little small cracks on the trailer the other day, pretty much just on this one beam. So they're gonna get that fixed up. Things like this, as long as it's firm, you know, it's a lot of just surface rust, so that stuff's fine. Still plenty solid. Same goes for all these. It's just surface rust, you know. Still, that's probably what, 1/4 inch plate, and it's still rock solid. Besides, you know, surface rust. So things like that are fine. They don't need to be completely reworked. Just carpeting and firming everything up, so like making it all solid again. You know, getting new legs and new bunks and stuff. New boat buckles. And things like that are just kind of the basic stuff. Then probably wiring and whatnot. We're getting the trailer work done first, just because once we get the trailer work done, then we can get this boat on this trailer, and then I can tow it wherever I want, start working on it, and really get wiring and stuff done after the fact. You can't really go anywhere, get much done if you don't have your trailer and your boat together anyway. So we're gonna get that started. We're gonna bang this out and then jump on to some other stuff. Pulling the wheels off now so we can get to these back fender bolts. They're holding these screws on that we got to recarpet. So we got all the carpet off, took a good bit of the bolts off. We can't reach some of the ones that are rusted out behind the tires, so we're pulling the tires off. Got all the lights pulled off and out so I can run new wiring. Like I said, we got those boat buckles off too. So cleared the wiring out up here. So that's gone too. For the lights, that's all out. We're thinking about getting a new one of these to weld on, because Josh does weld. This is fine, it's sound. We're gonna end up getting a new one of those, because that's a little janky. Things like that you just want to fix and have clean. So we also pulled off just other basic good stuff that we need to replace. So a new one of these, because he's pretty murdered, dry rotted. A new one of these. He's not in the best shape either. He's cracked and stuff. So screw him. And then this is the plate that sits up there. This is that plate. Sits up on the front. And so that's where the roller guide thing goes in the front. The winch actually connects back here. And then this panel had cracked, as you can see, cracked where the back screw holes are from just tension, probably towing it down the road and whatnot. So Josh is also, I think, going to cut out a piece and add a new piece in, so that's over with, because they had I don't know if I'll be able to find it. They had a road sign cut and put in to prevent it from cracking, to support it. So yeah, we're pulling everything off. We're gonna pressure wash it. Got all the bunks over here, so then I'm gonna go measure these out, width, length, you know, thickness, and then go get some pressure treated wood to put new carpet on. I have some carpet in the garage. Outside of that, I'm gonna probably just have to go buy a bunch more carpet. And then yeah, put a bunch of stainless steel fasteners in everything instead of non-stainless, because we got a bunch of stuff that's gonna rust out, you know. That's kind of how it's gonna go. Josh mentioned we should put a Gator, whatever it's called, Rhino liner and stuff. The guy did say he redid the bearings, which, as you can see, that looks pretty darn fresh. So that's cool. Bearings are redone. Everything looks fine, mechanically sound. You know, there's pieces that are rusted out a little bit, but they're still, for the most part, there, which is good. I mean, it's not beautiful, but you have to understand that any boats are just expensive as is. So to find a trailer that's in even decent shape for 20+ years old, when it's been around water and stuff for that long, is hard to find. So you're gonna see a lot of stuff that's not perfect, but as long as it's workable. For the most part, you're good, so that's fine. This isn't the most sound, obviously, but it's just holding a fender on. It's still got a decent bit of thickness. He could re-weld something like that, or we could clean it up and just rhino line over that. So we got some decisions to make and whatnot, but for the most part, a lot of it's still in decent shape. Just to give you, you know, a little bit of context as to how bad they can get. They can get pretty darn bad. So what we have now is in much better condition. We're gonna go get on this stuff, and then once we get all that done and then rush this on the welding, and before we know it, the whole trailer will be done pretty quick. So that's kind of step one. And yeah. So we just finished up, for the most part, getting a lot of the bigger rusted spots off, cleaning all the plates up that hold the bunks. Any of the bigger stuff we got done, so also the plates in the back with the side rails and stuff like that. We got all the fenders off. Next step is we're going to pressure wash the boat. So, well, we're going to pressure wash the boat, but also the trailer. That's what I mean. We're going to pressure wash the trailer, get it all cleaned up. And then Josh is going to take it over to Colin's house, which is our buddy that we work with. And they're going to get some welding done. They're also going to put an eyelet here for a clip for the cable, for the eye, because they don't have that on there on this trailer. It's on both my other TR20 trailers, but not this one. So they're going to get that on there. They're going to get the actual part of the main beam, one of the main beams, welded up. And then a couple little pieces. Like right there, you can see it's cracked, and that is no good. Don't want to be driving all over the state with that. And this side also has some down the side, a little on the top there. So that's what we're working on. And yeah, so they're gonna get that cleaned up. After we pressure wash, we'll put on the wheels on and stuff so they can drive around. I'll be working on bunks and carpeting after it's pressure washed, and then whenever they get it back and it's all welded, then we'll sand it down again when it's dried, and then we can actually put that bed liner, gator guard, whatever the heck it's called, on the trailer. And then once it's actually coated, then I'll be able to put my bunks back on, the bunks on the back for the side rails, and then we'll be able to put boat buckles on, the stuff up on the front of the trailer for like a winch, and then we can start doing wiring and lights and stuff like that. And then yeah, it should be all set after that trailer wise, and then we get to start breaking into the boat. I have to order a bunch of stuff offline. I have a massive list of stuff I need. Simple installs, stuff as easy as a locker bar. Got to put trolling motors on, got to take that boat and get the motor swapped out. So I got to get my Suzuki 250 SS swapped with the Pro XS 250 off the back of that.
Pull that guy off.
Power
Put him
pole.
there.
Got to make brackets in the back for battery chargers and whatnot. Got to make battery trays. Then I got to do live well stuff and all sorts of other stuff. So I got to order a bunch of that before we can do that. And then, yeah. So that's kind of a layout of the process we're working through right now. But we also got a little dirty while we were grinding. Josh was smart enough to put jeans and a shirt on.
Jeans, boots, and shirts.
And I wasn't quite that smart. I just sent it as is. And as you can tell, I was wearing my respirator. There we go. We're respirated. So yeah, we could be in a little better condition as far as it goes, personal safety protection or whatever. But we're all good. So that's kind of the step. Clean her up. The wheels all cleaned up. Go get it welded. So I am now a much cleaner dude, and so is the trailer and the boat. As you can tell, we've got a lot of the bigger rust spots off. We also did some straightening on things. So as of right now, it's looking real good. It's bare bones. Put the wheels and tires back on. We did straighten this out because this was bent up pretty bad. It's not perfect, but it's much better than it was. So that's pretty sweet. All the lighting's out, all the wiring and lighting stuff is out. So it's pretty much bare bones right now. Just got pressure washed, so it's drying off. Bunk stuff is still over there. These got pressure washed too, so those are clean. Those are for the wheel wells. And then Josh grinded this down. He's also gonna do some welding on this. I think we're still deciding as to if we want to put a whole new piece there or work with what we got and whatnot. The reason this one split and the other ones didn't is because Josh brought up a good point. This one doesn't have a back plate there to support it, and these other ones do, which is why these didn't split, because they have a back plate as well as the one in my garage. And then we pressure washed this guy down, cleaned out some of the hatches, and just cleaned it up. I think it just finished draining too. So, looks a lot cleaner, just, you know, visibly and whatnot. Just wanted to get it all cleaned up so I could kind of work on the gel coat stuff and whatever else I decided I want to do. Just have a clean slate to start with. So that's pretty much all we're gonna do for today. And then we're gonna I gotta order a ton of stuff. I think I already gave you guys a rundown, but I have a massive list in my phone. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's all cleaned up for now. The majority of the undersides are clean too. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm excited. Should turn out really well. And that's just a good thing to have peace of mind in. It's not the prettiest part of, you know, a boat and whatever, but the trailer is what gets you from point A to point B and gets you on the water. So without a good trailer, you pretty much can't really go anywhere, especially if you're trying to travel really far. Since I'm from Florida, there's events that are in New York, Texas, freaking all over. So yeah, trailer's got to be rock solid. So we're getting that taken care of, and then we're gonna get on some of the other stuff soon. So as you can tell, they pulled the trailer to go get welded today. They're already taking the battery trays and the batteries and all sorts of other junk out. Starting to do some work in the bilge. We cleaned out this side, so both the trolling motor batteries are gone there. Disconnected all this stuff that's trolling motor goodies. Pulled this bottom plate out that was hiding all the good stuff underneath, which was also resting on there. Just to give you a quick rundown on the setup that we have in the back here. This is our recirc pump. We got a recirc pump on each side for both wells. So that's recirc, as you can tell, it pumps up to the top and the back in the live well on both sides. This is pump out on the bottom for each side, which runs up and out of the side of the boat there. So those are the pump outs. This is bilge, mounted down at the bottom. As you can tell, I also picked up 2 free tungstens. A little tungsten there, a little silver one next to it. But anyways, that's bilge. And then this is an old bilge that was mounted to the side, which is also going to go, I'd say. These are pump in, so these come in off the back. And just a quick tip when you're mounting live well stuff, I love to make sure that stuff is cinched down, because this is kind of a good example of what you want it to look like. The pump itself is flexing, but as you can see, this fitting is not fitting solid. This is an example of what you don't want. This is the other pump. Let's see if we can get it focused here. You can see that this whole fitting is loose. That is not what you want, because you're going to have leaks off of things like that. It'll also flex free from the hull, which is not what you want. So we're going to replace all these with new 1,000 gallon per hour SPX pumps, like these Johnsons. I think this is 750. Yeah, it's a 750. So the 750 and all that's going to go probably. I'll probably just keep that as a spare pump. Put all brand new pumps in, put a really big one on the bottom, bilge pump wise, and then start working on getting things reconnected. We chopped all the wiring out for all these pumps. As you can see, it's all chopped off. And then also cleaned that side up, pulled that battery out, unmounted that Perco, and then I got to work on getting this the oil reservoir loose and whatnot, and then go from there, clean stuff up, and then I'll put a power pole pump bracket and a battery charger bracket in here. I'll show you what I did on my other boat, which is a plate that comes up. It's like a whole stand that gives you room to mount that on there, and then your pumps. So that's what we got going on. Got to do a bunch of that, and then I can put my batteries back in, my Percos and all that on the sides. Yeah, so that's what we got to do for now. So another update, we pulled all the pumps out and loosened everything up back here. As you can see, she's all cleaned up. These small pump end nozzles aren't going to be big enough probably for a 1,000 gallon per hour pump, so I'm probably going to end up switching those out. But everything else is looking pretty good right now. Pumps in, pulled the pumps out of the bottom too, the old bilges. That white one and the other one that was chilling there. You got both of those off their plates, and I think this boat actually has two bilge pumps. So you have two hoses running out to the left here. They were both connected to the bottom for bilge, and I think they're both just straight up bilge pumps. So kind of interesting. My boat only has one bilge pump. It's a little bit of a different setup, but it's not a bad thing. It's just a little more reliability. You could have one automated and one on a switch, or you could have them both automatic. I guess just have two. It depends how I want to set them, how I would want to set them up. But it's kind of cool to have that flexibility of having two back there. And then once I get all that cleaned up, I get these pumps ordered in, then I can start actually fitting everything up. So a lot's gone on in between now and the last update. Bought bunks, so got a bunch of pressure treated wood and cut it. I didn't cut it yet, but marked it out to have it cut down to match these bunk sizes. It's the same thickness and everything. And then also have this marked out to be this side bunks. Also the carpeting that we got is over here. So we got a bunch of carpeting to put on. And then started tearing out a ton of wiring. So got the oil reservoir out, tore a bunch of the actual wiring out here from the old wiring harness that was in the boat and stuff that people had done. What we have here is, these are for the oil reservoir, this is for the gas, this is for the actual power to the motor. What else do we have in here? I want to say, I don't remember what this is for. This is for water or something. And then this is steering line, or this is throttle, and then this is steering. And this is actual electronics to make like diagnostics and junk like that on the motor work, ignition, things like that. Also cleaned up the back again. You know, it's cleaned out. It's pretty much bare bones now. There's not really anything going on in the back of the boat. And yeah, just tore more wiring out. This whole console, tore that apart, and just said goodbye, go away, leave me alone. Got rid of it. Bunch of stuff to rework. Pretty much all I kept is ignition, And this is for, I believe, power steering or something like that. Steering, whatever it is. No, this is trim tabs. So it runs up to trim tabs. Trim tabs, there's something else, but outside of that, I pretty much tore everything up. Got the rod tubes and the backs out of both the lockers. It obviously wasn't clean behind there, so there's a bunch of like leaves and junk, but that's kind of what's gonna happen on a boat like this, old boat. Since this is a flat back, it doesn't go back really at all. I'm thinking about just leaving this whole piece out. On my TR20, I didn't leave it out. I put it back in, just eliminated the rod tube part. The rod tubes are gone, but I'm liking how much storage I have with, you know, everything gone. I feel like I'll be able to fit more rods. So that's what I'm sticking with for now. Probably the only parts of wiring I'll say will be this little guy that'll go back in there. Probably have ignition and whatnot down here. Probably live well stuff here, power pole stuff, and jack plate probably here. Or I guess I could play with it because I could also have it all right by my trim tab. So I could have jack plate, trim tab, power pole, and then I could have, you know, Suzuki Smart Gauge, my graph here, that 16-inch unit, ignition, live well stuff, lights and whatnot. I could also try and put here possibly. Curved panels can be a pain in the butt though, so we'll see. We'll see how much space we have. We'll see how everything lays out. This is probably going to be a fuse box like I have on my other boat, with probably a Perco switch hiding out somewhere in there. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to lay it all out yet. But I've cleaned a lot of it out, so it's way better than it was. I mean, I'm sure as you can imagine with how much wiring is laying here, when I open it up, how not, like, just nasty it was in there with wiring. So I also saved these. These are more of a template I like to use them for. Like on my other boat, when there was stuff like that, I'd use that as a template instead of actually using this piece again, just because I pick up more of a panel size with that. And I'll probably order carbon fiber sheet, which is probably 3mm thick, so something like that I can just cut to size and fit in those spots. Also here, I'll probably run gas gauges and whatnot in this, gas and maybe something else, I don't know. But yeah, so as of right now, that's kind of the setup. It's looking pretty good. There are things that kind of irritate me, like I just don't think some people should work on boats. Like to run wires, bro, dude, that's like just bad. That's just so sad to see someone do. That's just horrendous. So stuff like that is just not really the vibe they were trying to accomplish. So I might try and get a new one of these from Triton. I don't know exactly how I'd be able to do that. I could also try and patch it up. I could run a flat panel over that. I don't know. So there's still a lot of thoughts on how to do that. And then also, this is just bad. I cleaned it up really well versus what it was, but this is for wiring. Come on, guys. Hole. So we'll count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's an 11th one. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Like, come on. That's so bad. 23 plus holes on the back of the boat just for mounting graphs. Put a transducer plate. So I don't know, there's some stuff that are kind of annoying. I like running my transducers far down, so I'll probably run it either all the way in the back and run my wiring back out and up, or run it on this back plate. And the reason I like to do that is because when the boat is actually on pad, you can still read everything on pad. So you probably won't be able to see it on my TR20, but my transducer, I wish I had more light. Dang it. So that guy's my transducer right here, but he is in line with the bottom of the boat. I don't know if you can even see it, but he's in line with the bottom of the boat, so when I run, I can still read bottom up to about 40 miles an hour. 42-ish it'll usually do on that boat. Somewhere in there, 40-something, it starts to cut out. Which is, oh my gosh, it makes life so much easier. You can run and mark grass edges if it's early on in practice and there's not a ton of guys out. You can run and mark grass edges on pad. you don't even have to sit there and idle, and you can just kind of, it just makes life a way easier. You can also check and see, you know, what depth you're in while you're actually on pad, so you can know if you can get off plane, you know, and just kind of learn a whole bunch. So that's kind of how you should set that up. Also put if you're mounting transducers straight to the back of a boat, mount a block or something that you can mount to, so then whenever it's worn out and you got to replace your transducer, instead of just tearing that out and then drilling new holes all over the back of the boat, just replace the block or mount it a little differently on the block. But if you at least mount a block to the back of the boat, you don't ever have to worry about the boat itself getting destroyed. So, you know, also it's a 20-year-old boat, and it's obviously probably had 5 to 10 owners. I don't know, who knows. So there's definitely, you know, a lot of jimmy rigging that's gone on along the way, but try and avoid that if you're running your own boat, because you'll really appreciate actually having a nice transom. But anyways, just a bunch of stuff we got to do still. I'm going to get the bunks cut. The trailer's in the driveway. I should go show you that real quick. It's out on the road. Badass job. Josh and Colin, they're bad to the bone. So they welded all the main beam here, rock solid. They welded up under here. You probably can't see it, but this is solid instead of how it was, which is awesome. They also welded a plate, so they got me a plate put in, which is freaking awesome. So all I got to do is drill a hole, and then I can run a cable that'll go to the eye of the boat, like that safety cable. This has to be cut down. Their cutting wheel, they said broke, so they didn't have a cutting wheel, but they got the back plate on, so it's not going to just be destroyed. I'll just trim this up to where it's nice and clean. But yeah, they knocked it out of the park. They also added a whole plate underneath to thicken that whole piece of metal, so it's way thicker than this. It's like yay thick. So I'll just drill new holes, and yeah, they knocked it out of the park. So all the welding's done. We also got gator guard and all different sorts of stuff to coat the trailer with, and get rid of the rust and whatnot, because we'll have to sand it down again and just kind of clean up a lot of surface rust that formed from rain and it just being out in open air, since it was all sanded down. But things like that are up next, and then yeah, we'll get it on here and start putting new wiring and stuff into the boat. All right, so we moved the trailer to the shop. It's a little past 12 o'clock. We've been at it a while. I just finished cleaning the actual bracket up that holds the winch, sanding that down and cleaning that up a little bit. Josh and Colin did a bad to the bone job welding that. Looks great. And so that's all good. That'll be good to go back on there when this all gets coated. Also sanded down the whole trailer. And so yeah, it's all sanded right now. It's pretty much good to apply that coating stuff. I got all the bunks measured, cut down, and marked. They're just chilling here to kind of dry out a little bit. Those are for the side rails. These are for the big long main ones. As you can see, there's little dots where there needs to be holes drilled. I already marked them out and set them up and measured them all off, but they're also all labeled too, so I know what's what. But there was a little bit of a moisture content in these still, so I left them kind of just spread out to dry out. I didn't want to put carpeting on them, which is there till they kind of were dry, because they're going to be on there a while, and you know, it's going to be a long-term thing. I'm not fixing a lot, and so I'd like the adhesion to be really good between the carpet and that, so I don't have to worry about it. You're going to say, yeah, but it's a boat trailer. It's going to go in the water. Yeah, I know, but I'd at least like it to be initially set up when it's nice and dry. So I have those sitting there. I sanded the whole thing. The next step is going to be just to wipe it all down with this stuff. This is supposed to just kind of prevent rust and prepare the surfaces for painting, like it says. So I'm gonna wipe everything down with this, the whole trailer. I don't know if I'm gonna put it in a spray bottle or what yet, but as you can tell, I've been through a bunch of sanding pads on the orbital sander, just sanding away, and yeah, so should be all good for now. I'm gonna wipe it down, and then it'll be good to apply that coating stuff. I really don't care about looks-wise having the whole trailer coated beautifully. I just care about it not actually rusting out and mechanically failing on me while I'm on the road. So My main goal is to cover up all the like key areas first, all the joints and things like that, the bottoms where typically rust would form and cause things to give out. And yeah, some of the fender stuff, like these tabs, because these tabs like to give out and then it makes the fenders loose, so I'm obviously going to coat that. And yeah, stuff like that, pretty basic. So that's where we're at right now. Gonna get it all coated down and then go from there. So it is 1 in the morning now. This is like the worst rusted spot on this whole trailer. So I put some on here just to see what it would do after I already coated this. But you can see how clean it made everything else. And it's only sat for just a little bit. Which is just this, I think, Ospo stuff. Yeah, Ospo. It really did a nice job getting rid of like pretty much the majority of all the rust on the whole trailer. A lot of where it's dried is already real clean. Any rust that was there is all gone. For the most part, it looks great. So, bad to the bone. Finally order some of the Livewell stuff for the boat and the correct lights and stuff so I can do the wiring on this. I don't think I'm going to replace the tongue. I feel like having Josh weld that. They do a really nice job, but I don't really feel like having that cut off and put a new one on. Plus it's like $300. I'll probably just get a new pin because the actual like ball part of this pin is pressed down so it doesn't want to stay when it goes in. But outside of that, it'll be fine. I'll just run new wiring and it'll be bad to the bone. So that's kind of step one, the trailer, and then we can get the boat on the trailer once I get the Livewell stuff in the boat and the plug in the boat, because then it can actually be sealed enough to float. Right now it's got empty holes all in it. So yeah, but good start. Things are moving pretty quick. Only had the boat I think since Saturday, and it's like Wednesday. We've already got a bunch done, so it's good. It's good. I'm gonna head on home and get some sleep. All right, so I just coated over the trailer with acetone and removed these little bunks off of the tops. This paint on the top, so got rid of those and got rid of these that were riveted on right here. Cleaned everything up, sanded it down, hit everything with acetone. As you can see, everything's scuffed. Everything's removed around the whole trailer. Obviously, I don't care about these. These are aluminum. But all the other stuff is all sanded down. So the whole trailer's good to go. All the rust is, for the most part, just completely gone. I hit it with that Ospo first, which is that stuff. And then I sanded everything, hit it with Ospo, all the rusted areas. Cleaned it all the, powdered, like, paint that had been on everything off. And then I hit it with the acetone with just a rag, wiped down the whole entire trailer, clean everything up, and now it's good to hit with this Raptor coating with bed liner. So I mix 8 ounces of this into this cup, and then I pour it into these, shake it, and then I roll it on. I'm going to hit, I got 4 bottles of it that came in one kit. So I'm going to roll a bunch of the areas I'm most concerned about first. So things I'll roll is stuff like this, joints. All of these pads are obviously really high areas of concern because those actually support the boat. And obviously what really matters is anything that actually supports the boat. So all the big main beams, things like that, the pads, where there's going to be wood clamped to steel, I need to make sure that that's sealed so over time it's not going to rust away and turn bad. So I'm going to hit all the main points, just make sure that all gets covered good, and then I'll hit wheel wells and stuff like that. Outside of the trailer, yeah, you want it to look nice, obviously. I'll do all this work and have it look like crap, so I do want to have the outside done, but honestly that stuff doesn't really affect it. The actual rigidity of the trailer. So I'm going to get all that on. It's been a long process. Geez, I've probably put a night or two into this now. I also picked up rivet guns so I can reattach those. Picked up these little paddle bits. And the reason I picked those those up is so I can sink my carriage bolts into my wood bunks and make sure that they're actually like synced in so my boat's not rubbing the heads of the carriage bolts. Got a stapler gun with stainless steel staples to apply all of the carpet, and I already have gobs of this construction glue. I'll probably only use like 6 bottles, but I have a ton of it. On my bunks, because I'm going to apply that on my bunks. But all my bunks have been sitting here for a while now. They're pretty darn dry. These, like the composite stuff for the wheel wells, dried up really, really quick. Because it's not going to soak up anywhere near as much moisture as the wood will. All this wood for the most part's dry, so that's good. Carpet's here, good to go. So I'm going to get this first coat on with the Gator Guard stuff, and then while that's drying, I'm going to just be working on the whole thing. All the key areas are going to be drying, and then after 60 minutes you can do the second coat. So after 60 minutes I'm going to go back, recoat it, and then while it's actually drying, I'm going to go work on my bunks and get those all taken care of. So, long process. Once the trailers are good, we should be all good. I made a big order for filter pumps, live well pumps, like aerator pumps, for the front end. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Talked to the people at Impulse Lithium today. They are absolutely awesome, and I think I'm going to end up putting new lithiums in this boat instead of stealing them out of my TR20. So that's exciting too. And yeah, just a whole lot of great stuff's happening. I'm going to see if I can put this on a time lapse possibly. I know I haven't been really doing a bunch of me actually working, and it's just because it's very hard to film while I'm working, even with the GoPro and phone and this and that. So I'm going to try and put it on a time lapse, see how that works, try and film me doing a little bit of that, and then yeah, be on to the next step. Alright, so we got the first coat on. It looks bad to the bone. Took a while, but it looks really nice. So that's awesome. This lighting does it no justice, but it looks great, which is super encouraging. I think once these panels get put on too, it'll really make the trailer pop a whole lot better. Looks wise, not that that matters. But we got everything coated that needed to be coated. It's all coated. We went through 2 bottles, so perfectly. We have 2 bottles left, so I could completely recoat the whole entire thing if I wanted, which I probably will, although it doesn't sound very fun, I probably will. Covered in just freaking crap. It's all over me. This junk is like just a pain in the butt to work with, but it looks great. I think it'll last a long time. It's very, very tacky. I'm going to go do bunks now, and then probably come back to this in a little bit. I mean, I got this tongue piece done too, so it looks great. I'm going to go get on bunks, carpet bunks, wash my hands up a little bit, and then come back and recoat this, and then it's good to dry, and then I'll start putting the bunks on whenever it's dried, and wiring, winch, things like that. and then we'll be able to put the boat on it and start getting the boat rigged up. So, sweet. So, it's like 3:30 in the morning. I do have work tomorrow. But I finally carpeted all the bunks. All the significant bunks. I'm actually gonna lay them down. I got the guide rails for the sides, the mid-section bunks, and the big bunks completely done. And then the wheel wells are currently getting sandwiched with glue because they're got a pretty big surface area. So I'm gonna let those actually kind of set up for a bit before I take the staple gun and fold the carpet around and trim it all up and cut it all off. So I just want to make sure I have a good bond first. I'm actually gonna lay these back down so they get a little bit extra weight on them and don't bow or anything till they're on the trailer. The way I did all these is I ran toggle bolts through. So I'm gonna just lay these on the trailer and then put a lock nut and a washer, and they're all gonna be tight and bad to the bone, and you'll never have to worry about them stripping out. Mixing up the second to last can of this, put on the trailer. So while that's drying, I'm gonna take the time and finish up coating the trailer down. As you can tell, it looks bad to the bone. I check the rivet sizes, make sure they're the right size and they're gonna work. So whenever everything gets all dried up, then I'll be able to put those back on. Probably just construction glue those back on, because they just had like 3M foam, it looks like. So I'm just gonna use construction glue to set them up. But taking this up, let's in the bottle. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I'm gonna lay these back down because they are bowing a little bit, and I don't want the glue before it's dried to be like all weird. So yeah, but these are the same setup too. I'm running just a carriage bolt through, and I feel like that's gonna be way better than how they were. It is probably a small looking carriage bolt to you, but it's an 1/8, or not an 1/8. My bad, a 1/4. Which is probably thinner than a boat manufacturer would use. But I think it's gonna be just fine, and it's all stainless steel hardware. So that's great too, it's a big plus. But I'm gonna get these laid back down. I'm gonna go back to coating the trailer, and then the next update will probably be with the wheel wells done, trailer dried, and ready to slap these bad boys on if I haven't already done it. So it's the next day. Got the bunks on, the plates back on. The side plate is over there for the inside of the wheel wells. The other one needs to be finished, but the bunks look good. And everything's looking pretty solid right now. So not too shabby. The winch thing, the bolt that locks it down to here and actually makes it grip, is seized up. So we're gonna try and unseize that, but outside of that, we should be all good. Then we're gonna get some wiring for the trailer. I placed another big order with things like boat buckles, cable boat plug, new locks, the hatch lid things for the boats, spring things, locker bar, all sorts of stuff. It's a huge list. It's like well over $1,000 in junk, and I still have a ton of other crap to get. Power pole foot switches, all sorts of stuff. So as of right now, the trailer's getting really close to done. It's good to go down the road. The boat could be put on it, but we have to get the winch ordered in, which is coming to go on the front, and we gotta get this thing to actually lock down, so we gotta get that loose. But coming along well. Just got a lot of work to do still, but it's coming along, so we need to get back to work. All right, so update. We're back at the house, been working on the boat a little bit. This is what some of the things I wanted to keep. They came off the console, so they're just hiding out in the rod box. As you can see, the boat is completely bare. I think what I'm gonna have is gas, big 16-inch unit, power pole, up and down switch, jack plate, and then trim tabs here. That's going to be Suzuki controls. This will be live well, lights, all that. That'll probably be a fuse box. It's going to be throttle. I finally got that removed and got all the wiring out outside some of the leftover stuff that runs up to the front deck that I haven't played with yet. This is for trim for the motor up and down that runs up to the front up there. Completely stripped everything out of the back of the boat for now, so that's emptied out. Got all the wiring out for the like ignition and all that. What's left? Disconnected the hot foot, so as you can see, I have to take this cap off and pull that, snake that back through, and then the hot foot out is out, and then just disconnect the steering from this, and then that whole motor is good to be pulled off. Actually just got the first shipment in from Hodges Marine, which has the winch in it, which I gotta assemble and put on this the block over here. This guy, gotta get that mounted on the back, and then it'll be looking like this. You gotta do some other dolled up stuff for the trailer, and some of the live well pumps came in. These are the aerator pumps, just the straight pumps, I believe. I don't think I have any of those pumps yet. So these are all just the live well pumps here. So I got all live well pumps in here. But that'll be nice. I can at least get two fitted on the back if I feel like it or whatnot. But yeah, we made it back to the house. The boat's getting worked on now. I gotta grab this box of wiring lights and double check, just make sure I grab the right wiring for this trailer. So it's hiding out somewhere. I don't know where it went. Might be inside or something. But there's a box laying around with all the leftover lights that came off of the trailer, and I will need to find that before I leave and go get the correct lights, and then we can put the lighting on the trailer. And then yeah, the trailer's pretty much done once I get that winch thing on there, and then I also have to heat this little stupid. So there's on all these tongues, there's like a nut that goes in here and it clamps it to the post that's welded onto the trailer. And this nut is so jammed, it does not want to come free. So I gotta play around and get that loose so then I can clamp this onto the trailer. And then once I get that done, it kind of makes life a little easier. But that's kind of a little bit of a rundown of some things we gotta do. It's coming along great. I gotta pull the trolling motor off the deck and other things like that. There's a lot of other little odds and ends I have to do, but for now, a lot of the main stuff's done. The pain in the butt, big stuff's done. So once it's all ready to accept everything, and then I get the live wells set up, done and whatnot, and the cable boat plug-in, then I can trailer this boat, take it off this old crappy trailer, put it on the new trailer when the new trailer's done, and then take it to the shop or wherever, and then start actually getting it set up to fish. So like the fun things, graph harness, live well, like hatch supports, lighting, things like that, boat buckles, basic simple stuff, rod straps, all sorts of that stuff, running graphs, trolling motor, power poles, new motor connection, things like that. So yeah, a lot of work to do, but also whenever I get to that stage, I'm also going to do one more just day where I run this at max speed and just get a good video of it, because this boat's been wonderful to me this year. It is in shambles right now, I know. The garage is a mess, and it kind of hurts my feelings, but I do want to take one video of me hauling butt with this boat before I get rid of her and send her off to my pops, just because it's been great to me. It's been a great boat. I've had it for about 2-3 years. I've done a ton of work to it, and it kind of won me a lot of money this year, so sweet. Anyways, we're going to get back to work and get the rest of the things winded down, and then I can get everything together, go duck hunt in the morning, and then come back and work again on things Saturday after I hunt and Sunday. So, all right. So as you can see, we just removed the gas can, the whole tank, 56-gallon tank. There's really old plastics in the boat and all sorts of stuff. I had noticed it wasn't draining well when I pressure washed it. Didn't really think anything of it, but to get all the wiring out and to pull the hot foot out, I had to remove the cap. So I removed the cap. I saw how much stuff was laying down there. I said, you know what, we're removing the whole gas can. So it's hanging out behind Josh. You can see we just pulled it out. Pretty much all the wiring down the boat. Pretty much everything's gone. I want to clean this up now. Which it's nasty, but it's going to be really good when it's all clean, said and done. The underside of the cap was pretty dirty too. I think also because the boat's white, it helps exaggerate how nasty it is, but still it is really bad, and it was clogged thanks to all that stuff on the bottom. So we're gonna get all that cleaned up, and then that's how big those are. Water soaked. It's literally like it's like a Senko or a trick worm that grew to like 12 inches. It is insane.
Thing's huge.
So yeah, we're gonna finish getting this boat cleaned up, and then yeah, I think the next step is getting the plug in, the live well stuff, finishing getting the last of this wiring out, and then yeah, I mean that motor's completely disconnected now. All of the harnessing and everything is loose, so whenever we get a sec and the boat's good to be trailered, we could trailer it to the shop, get the boat off the trailer and on the new trailer, and then remove that motor and have a bare bones boat that we can start slapping all our stuff on. Alright, so we got the winch mounted on the little winch stand. It's rock solid now. Got the little cable guy on there, which clips off to the eye of the boat. This is the same winch I run on my TR20. It's bad to the bone. It's got a little Ford neutral reverse action on her. Real nice. Lovely little winch there. Works great. Probably my favorite style I've used. The bunks and the side plates are on. Looks great. Everything mounted up nice. Got those riveted on, and these are construction glued on. And man, everything's just rock solid. Looks good. Still gotta get the boat buckles on whenever those come in on the back. But I got the lights for it and whatnot as well. As you can see, it just looks super clean, real nice. I got a bunch of lights in here. Gotta get these on. Coming up soon. Got school wire and stuff too. So these are the lights I had for replacement to know what to look for. This trailer actually takes them with grommets, so had to find those. Wasn't able to find a new one of these yet. I just had to go to like Dirty Built Trailers and stuff and grab those, and then these little side plates as well. We got school wire, and then a bunch of new lights, which cost way more than I'd like to admit. Should have just got them online, but I didn't know exactly what I needed, so I held off. But got 2 red ones for the back, which these are just the grommets. So 2 red ones for the back, brake, turn and whatnot, stop and turn. And then these, I have to replace the little yellow guys, or the orange guys, and then these reflectors are just gonna slap up here. Because there was, I think, a running light here, but I don't really feel like re-putting it on. And so instead of using those, I'm just going to put reflectors there and call it a day. Instead of wiring in something there. And then these red ones, I believe, go on the back. Which I think are also just running lights. I think the orange ones go here. I believe the red ones go here. So, sweet. So we cleaned up the bilge area, pressure washed it, hit it with some algae stuff that's supposed to get rid of that, and all different sorts of stuff. Cleaned up the bilge too, disconnected the steering, so the steering's disconnected. And I also cleaned up the gas can, got that all cleaned up too, so that looks much better. I mean, it ain't perfect, but it's a gas can, so it looks much better than it was. If it'll focus, looks much better than it was. Got a bunch of stuff in the mail. Bilge pumps, live well pumps all came in. The boat plug came in. A mix of stuff. I have a bunch of crap I got in there. Some of the hatch locks, 6 out of the 10 came in. And yeah, all sorts of other stuff. There was a ton of orders I placed. I think there's a locker bar coming and power pole foot switches and other junk like that coming in. A new winch for the leg of the trailer on the trailer that's finished. And other crap like that that's still coming in. But outside of that, a lot of stuff's already came. So that's good. Still have a lot of work to do, but that's kind of how it goes. And it does look really good though. So sweet. Much cleaner than it was. So we got the tank back in. It's all cleaned up. Looks real good. Since the tank was pretty decompressed, it wasn't like pressurized, it was relatively easy to get the plates back on. Wasn't too bad. This gas line is kind of shot, the gas line that runs the motor. This is the fill-in stuff that actually fills the tank, but that line's pretty shot. I can't get it back on. Also, as you can see, it just kind of cracked and gave out while I was trying to heat it up with a heat gun. So it's kind of just really old tubing, as you can see. So I think I'm just gonna get a new hose, fuel hose that runs the motor. Outside of that, I got both the live well pump-in pumps mounted. They're not wired up yet, but they're mounted. Both of the bilge pumps are mounted. One there and one there. And then the drain plug got mounted. So that's good. It's not actually set up all the way attached to the boat yet, but at least the in and out on it works just fine. So as you can see, we'll just leave this down here. Try and get it to show. So that's in. As you can see, I'm gonna put it out, and that red plug pops out. If I put it in, the plug comes back in. So, as you can see, in, out, in. That guy's all good to go. I just gotta get a plate and make a plate for it so I can either mount it like here or something like that. I'll probably mount both Percos for my bus bars and whatever to run all my electrical, and this all on the same side. Outside of that, I did get several of the hatch lids in, so I got those mounted. The live well ones are too short to actually grab the underpiece. It's too short to grab the lip. That little guy right there is too short. So I'm probably going to have to make some sort of an extension piece that I drill into the end of this or something to extend these, because I tried to find longer ones already. I'd already used some of these flat pieces off of the ones that came on the boat to make some of the other ones fit a little better, but those I'll probably have to custom make. So it is what it is, but it's kind of a quick update. And then tomorrow, trailer wiring should be all done. Gonna try and get the insurance and the registration, all that done on the boat, and then also for the trailer, and then we'll be able to, once I got insurance, tow this thing down the road, get it on the other trailer, since the plug and both the actual pump in holes are all filled, so the boat will float. I can put it on the other trailer when the trailer's done, and then take it back to the shop and then go from there. So sweet. Alright, so we just got the trailer lights on. It's not dark out, so they're not going to shine up good, but those train lights are on, all the marker lights are on. The stop, turn, hazard, all that lights are on. This is a backup light, so it's not on unless I back up. And the same thing on this side. So we got all that done. Trailer's ready to get a boat put on it. And we got a new one of these rollers in the front, but it's pretty small, so I'll probably end up getting another one that's larger. This almost looks like it's for like a jet ski trailer. It looked like it was the right size online, but not quite, so it is what it is. Outside of that, everything else is looking good. I'm gonna get some of that wire covering stuff, that black, it's like notched stuff for that, and I gotta get a new pin, because this pin is it's kind of, no, the spring shot, so it doesn't actually stay in. It comes in and out, just way too easy. It falls out, which prevents this from opening. It's like an extra set of whatever for it. So gotta get a new one of those, and got a new front wheel jack coming too. So whenever that comes in, we can bolt that off or put the new one on. But as of right now, she's all good to take a boat. All right, so we just put the boat in the water and got it swapped off the old trailer. As you can see, this is why this is here. Let's see if we can get this to stay up. Here, hold this shit. Take a video of this. So as you can see, this whole thing is fucking snapped. This whole thing is snapped. Oh! That's why we got a new trailer. So we just finished getting it swapped onto the new trailer. And it looks like a real boat now. There you go. Got her all clipped up. The bunks and everything are perfect. She looks slick as can be. Everything turned out perfect. Still got a bunch of work to do on it, but as you can see, they're both centered the same. The trailer is perfectly centered and everything on the trailer too. Or the boat's centered, everything perfect and everything on the trailer too, which is great. So it's just perfect, just perfect. I didn't check the bilge yet, but I don't think it picked up really any water. I think this is just leftover water. I think. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we do have a leak, but we'll figure that out soon enough. But outside of that, it's on a new trailer, and we're fixing to get a bunch of work done on it now that it's on the new trailer, and we can drive around and take it to the shop and limit space too, so sweet. So now that the boat's back at the shop, been doing some more work on the boat. Got this keel guard on there to protect the bottom because the bottom was beat up kind of decently. Got a jack underneath this thing supporting it up, so I got some room to work around the tongue of the trailer. Redid some epoxy stuff, some fiberglass and type stuff up in the front here because it was beat up pretty decently. And although I'm putting this on underneath and bending that up to fit, you know, to shape, I still would like it to be a decent surface underneath there and not be picking up water and getting anything in the hole. So clean that up, which is kind of a plus. I'm gonna sand that down and clean it up a little bit more whenever that's fully dried. I also taped over all the holes and cleaned up all that over there for now. It's not sanded or anything yet, but I also did the same thing on the back, and that is fully done. So all those screw holes that they had drilled out for transducers and whatnot, it was 23 holes. I filled them all, taped them all off, and then whenever they dried, sanded them all back down. And it's not absolutely perfect, but they're all plugged. They're not, you know, just left open anymore, and all that's epoxied over. So these holes there are pretty hard to see, but yeah, I mean, it looks great. I could, if I wanted to, take like a big layer of film and just rush epoxy over all of that stuff, but it's not the end of the world to me as long as it's all plugged up and, you know, mechanically sound. I don't really care. So I'm doing the same thing over there. I don't know if I'll end up taping that off or something with this black sort of tape they've used. Let's see if I can find a nice little piece of it. But sort of the same black tape, foamy black tape stuff. I don't know if I'll end up running this same stuff all down here or not yet, but you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then also when that's dried, I'll have the front guard covered up. So I'll get that 3M this guy back on, or not back on, but I'll get it on. Then whenever I get this fuel line, since everything's closed, today's Thanksgiving, I can put this cap back on because I have to put the fuel line connected to the fuel gauge, or to the fuel tank first, and then I can put the cap back on. And also, I need to get a new sender in there and wire that out, probably before I put the cap on as well, but that's all to come. And then I got some Livewell stuff here. These are Livewell vents, VT2 Livewell ventilation system, and all that does is it helps give them nice oxygenated water, helps cool your Livewells down and all different sorts of stuff, and it's just great for fit. So have that to put in. These guys are spring shocks. I put these, or spring locks, hatch opening locks, whatever. I put these on my TR20 hatches. I didn't get to fish them like tournament day yet, but all my hatches were from water and stuff soaking in all the hatch screw holes. Over time, it was letting the hatches get loose and they were getting real janky. So by putting these in and mounting them to the center and to the hatch lid, it just gives it more support. And it turned out really, really nice. So I got that to do. I also have some more hatch locks that came in that I need to put on these holes. I gotta make little tabs to where those will actually grab. I epoxied up these for the Livewells the other day. Some Livewell fittings, so I have to make those. So what these will do is they'll be like this on the inside of the boat. So they'll come into the back of the Livewell, another white piece clamps to this white piece to Livewell, and then I have to make aeration tubes that'll go out from here, well, up and then out from there, and make like a big aeration nozzle, so it'll go up and then out. So I have to get some fittings from Home Depot, but they're closed. So these are at least epoxied up, so I could fit these and put them in if I want, but I want to keep one so I can make sure I get the threads right when I go to Home Depot and get that stuff. And those will all go in these holes. Another thing I'll probably do is start fitting the Livewell stuff so I could toss all the other Livewell pumps in right now. I don't know if there was a leak in the bottom of the boat or what exactly the deal was the other day, but when we did put the boat in the water after pulling it back out, there wasn't a significant amount, but there was maybe that much water on the bottom of the boat. Not in like the actual like cockpit area, just in the transom. So I don't know if the Livewell somehow let water in and then that seeped through the bottom of the Livewell holes because those are open, and those might be, I don't know if they are or not, but it's possible water seeped in like that. I'm not exactly sure. That's actually probably what happened. Livewell water probably seeped in through the either these or one of these fittings. I don't know. I'll have to look a little more into that. And then also this motor can come off whenever I get some of this other stuff done and I build out some scaffolding and put a little chain on it. I can get the eyelet piece to grab the top of the motor, or even just ratchet strap it, whatever. Get it picked up and then get it set on, you know, some sort of a motor stand or something, and then have the transom freed up too, and then I can put my stuff in for my boat. But yeah, so got a lot of work to do still, but things are coming along and starting to come together. So sweet. Nice, clean, repaired front. As you can see, it's slightly different color, but it is perfect angle-wise and everything. It's like the bow was never chipped or beat up at all. So completely perfectly repaired. This looks off-colored. It's just dusty because there's been a ton of sanding I've done on the bottom of this and cleaned everything up. So the gator guard's on. That looks nice. And then this guy, where'd he go? I got him all bent up where he fits nice and perfect.
on the front. And so I went and got icing, purple, alcohol, whatever the heck it is. Cleaned it all up. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I also grabbed a light to light up the back so I can do my live well fittings and everything. And whatnot. I also tightened up some of the connections. So I got the bilge pumps connected to the their hoses. And just cleaned some of the stuff up back here and whatnot to get the rest of the live well stuff done and fitted. And I got those laid out. So, oh, and I also got the fuel thing in. So that's in. And yeah, stuff like that. So got a little more prep work done, nothing crazy, but looks good. Got the other hatch locks on too. So cool. So we worked through the night, got a good bit more done. Pulled the trolling motor off, cleaned up the excess wiring in here, so I just have for motor trim left. Got the foot pedal and all that off. The whole trolling motor's like back over there. We got this side sanded up. I don't know if I want to paint it. Those aren't holes. It's from being sanded all the way through the gel coat. So this is nice and smooth and clean. If I wanted to put more gel coat on it or whatnot, I could. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet, but it is all nice and smooth. So it's much better than it was. We also got all of the live well fittings, right there, the live well pumps and stuff put on. So these are the recirc pumps, which are both on for each well. The pump out pumps, which are both on for each well. The pump in pumps, which are there and there for each well. And then also we have 2 bilge pumps hiding down underneath. One there and one, probably can't even see it. One, yeah, there's one hidden back in here somewhere. There you go. One hidden there, one hidden there. I haven't got to run wiring yet, so I'm gonna have to make switch panels and then wire up all the live wells. But for now, they're good. There's other stuff I did too. I don't remember what all I did. But it all looks great. I don't remember if I showed this, but we did get that panel on there, so he looks nice. Nice good fit there, just to protect the eye, because in the past I've tore up the front of the boat just from, you know, trailering and whatnot and putting things on the trailer. If the ramps are really steep, sometimes you can't even get the boat backed in enough to where you can hit the trailer and drive it up it without smashing something. So got that on there, and the gator guard on the bottom. Yeah, there's other stuff I gotta do, but I just made a list of things I have to order, things I have to go get from Home Depot. Gotta make live well nozzles. I gotta get some sort of that electrical stuff to cover up this guy for my plug. I have to get a plate for this aluminum plate, because my live well, or my my trailer tag light thing wouldn't mount with the existing holes in that brackets. The piece of metal there's way too high. So for temporary purposes, I put a piece of wood on there, but I have to make a plate to replace that. And I also have to get the wiring to work on that little trailer tail light. I don't know why it didn't want to run, but got to rewire that little tail light and get that running. And then outside of that, it's just graph wiring, putting trolling motor on, swapping motors, battery mount, ordering batteries, or charger mount, ordering batteries, mounting the power pole pumps back there. Once I get that new fuel line on, I can put the cab back on and run the hot foot through and all that. And making panels and whatnot and doing electrical and all that, getting the graph mounted up here, stuff mounted up there. Power pole foot switches, gotta get a power pole dash switch. And there's other odds and ends, but for the most part, that's about it. Alright, so we've been cranking away on a bunch more stuff. We got actually the trailer jack over here. I'm gonna show that. Got the trailer jack swapped out. It actually looks really good. A two-wheeled, wider, larger version. Set up right this time. Much more powerful. Got this swapped out with the smaller one on there. So I got a bigger size, which will help it actually line up well. Got all that, got this all dolled up and tidied up and neat. And got lettering, some gas shocks. The locker bar came in. Made custom live well fittings. So this is kind of like the setup I have in my TR20, which is this will be mounted up in there. You don't really even see it. It leans up against that side like that. And then that spray nozzle, all those 5 spray nozzles will go straight down into the well. So I had to make these custom fittings for each one. There's one in here and one in there. And then had to buy special live well fittings, cut them up, trim them up, make all, actually drill these out so they're like bore them out to where they're the correct size to match up with that, because they had it condensed and I don't want to slow the water flow down. So there's all sorts of stuff like that I had to play with. Got this little plate on here to cover up where the oil fuel and dump in was for the oil reservoir, because I'm not going to have an oil reservoir, so I got that to plug it. Got this just to replace the thing that was there, and I'm going to run actual motor like plug stuff whenever I get this motor off, because it is fully disconnected and ready to be pulled off whenever. Got dash material to do hole there, hole here, this, that. Got it to cover up over here. Put a new handle on instead of the plastic one, because the plastic version on the other TR20 gave me big problems because it was plastic. There is a little metal in there, but not much. It's pretty flimsy. This, though, has a little plate on the back, and I don't know if you'll be able to see. You're definitely not going to be able to see, but maybe. Let's see. But we have, you can kind of see the shiny little piece there, right there. Full-on bolt with a big washer up in there. So it's all set up legit and really solid. Trying to think. Got cup holders swapped out with these actual nice ones, these metal ones. And well, why did I do that? I did that because the plastic ones, I've had them on my TR20 and they were on this boat and they already cracked on this boat. And what sucks about that is if you step on if you put, you know, markers or scissors, anything in there, and you step on it, it always punches a hole through it. Replacing them is a pain in the butt. The metal ones, I don't think are going to do that to me, so that's great. I have other stuff to mount, like a fuel gauge switch for, this is just a on-off-on switch, which can be used like a rocker switch, which can be used for the jack plate. So he'll go over here on this plate whenever that gets in with the power pole dash switches I ordered. I ordered another $1,300 plus order of crap to put on the boat. Stuff to get gas shocks, you know, all sorts of other odds and ends. I don't know if I said that, but I got the fuel line ran and redone, so it's all good to go. All those fittings are in the live well stuff. I just have to put in the custom live well fittings.
on either side and run a line from there to my fitting whenever they get in. Replaced this with a new plug-in a little while ago, so it's got an actual through-hole plug that's nice. I bought metal material that I'm going to cut down. I don't know if I want to put it on this side or how exactly I want to do it to mount the cable boat plug. But this, I guess I'll probably mount it over here. It'll end up mounting to this plate. Like I'll cut a section, mount it to the plate. Yeah, I still have to make a battery order too from Impulse Lithium, which won't be cheap, but whatever. I already bought a charger, a Noco Genius 3 or NXG, whatever it is, Gen 3 Pro or whatever. That's the same one I run on my Tier 20. Badass charger, thing's great. I've got another one of these for up front. Got all sorts of other crap in here too that I need to put on. Got to do some the gel coat work over here and get that cleaned up. Yeah. So we've got a good bit of stuff done, but we still have a bunch of crap to do. Outside of that, don't have too much. Other than swapping my stuff over, I have to go run. Probably gonna go run my TR20 tomorrow. I want video of me running that boat on pad, full speed and stuff, because it's been great to me, and I think it's bad to the bone. And I've kind of done that in the past with other boats, and I haven't done it with that rig yet. And that rig kind of got me going. So I feel like I owe it justice to give it one good last run and get it all on video and everything, and just have that as a keepsake before I tear it all apart and toss everything on the new boat. So I'll get that done tomorrow. And then
My daughter gonna love this one too. All my diamonds shine, they really diamonds. They kissing line, they be really crying. They ask me if I'm lying, I say really, really. Got money on my mind, I say really, really. I look like I've been ballin' 'cause I'm really ballin'. I wanna apologize, I'm not really sorry. They ask me if I'm lying, I say really, really. I'm really on my mind, I say really, really. Really, really. Believe, I made them believe. A lyrical songwriter and he could sing, bringing them
I can rip this motor off the back of this, start taking stuff off the TR20, putting on here, like the motor, the power poles, this, that, whatever. I gotta make battery trays and stuff to hold the, I'm gonna make stainless steel trays that I actually just buy a stainless steel plate, probably 1/4 inch thick or something, bend the edges, put foam in it. That's my plan as of right now, to actually make custom trays to fit the batteries perfectly. In the past, I'd bought and Jimmy rigged trays, spun them this way, that way, put foam in between batteries, because when you're running dual, like I had two 12 volts that I was running as a 24 volt system to run my Ghost, and when you're running two side by side like that in parallel or whatever it is, unison, I don't remember which one's which. There's parallel and something else, I can't remember. But when you're running them like that, if you don't have anything in between the batteries and they're clinking and cracking, they just beat themselves up. So I had foam in between there and all sorts of stuff. So I probably make custom trays to hold my 236 volts, which I'm gonna get and run parallel over there, sequential or whatever it is, inline, whatever. In parallel, I'm gonna run them in parallel, so they're both, they act as, it just doubles the battery size essentially. So I have 236 volts over there for my towing motor and some other odds and ends, and then a 120 amp hour 12 volt system to run all my electronics, grab, cranking battery, all that off of motor, so all those accessories. And I'll just make custom trays to fit those two side by side, put foam in the bottom, and then put foam between them. I don't know if I'll use C-deck, I don't know if I'll C-deck, at the bottom, and then stick a piece of C-deck on one of the sides of the battery so they don't clink and rub. I don't know what I want to do yet, but we'll figure something out for that whenever I get those batteries in. I figure out the size of them actually, how much room I have to work with, this, that, whatever, and go from there. I also have to make a custom tray to go in the back. It'll be like 2 support legs and then a flat bracket and then 2 support legs that go down to that side that I'll mount and drill into the stringers. And I have that on my TR20. It's a little bit overkill, but what it does is it allows me to mount, I can get it up under there, I can mount my
Noco Genius 3 charger, whatever, on top. The 2 power pole pumps on plates that'll be mounted up on the front. And then I'll have power pole pumps on the plates, batteries, bus bars, switches, like Perco switches and all that good stuff over here. Battery and bus bar Perco switches over here that'll run to live well stuff, which will have a fuse block probably hidden up under there. A fuse block and a Perco switch and some other crap over there to run live wells. Switch panel, so I have a 8 gang rocker switch thing coming in, so I'll have pump in, pump out, recirc, or pump in, recirc, pump out, pump in, recirc, pump out for each well, and then both the bilge pumps. And then I have, I believe it's a 4 switch panel with USB plugs and crap like that, which will have like running lights and, you know, stereo if I put stereo in, this, that, lights, things like that, like any sort of other odds and ends. Probably active target will be connected to one, so I can turn that on and off if I need to on the switch, and things like that. So yeah, very exciting. Got a lot to do. Got some big plans. Everything's coming along pretty good for right now. So we got the tail light running. Swap that plate out and got it rewired, so it's actually running the little tag light, and had to do a little rewiring to it, but ain't no big deal. Pretty satisfied with it now, and it should be plenty the height to clear the tag on the bottom of the trailer. So solid, looks good. It's lit up, so not complaining. The only sucky part is I fitted one of the live well fittings in the right well, and that one fitted perfectly. $5,200 and all, absolutely money. Back piece and everything, no problem. Rock solid. It's probably actually already dry by now, but perfect, no problems. The other side, we go to fit the other side, and the stupid fitting just cracks, completely cracks. We'll hold on to this guy as a backup in case, but I don't think he's gonna cut it. Plus, I'm afraid if this fails over time and cracks, after this one cracked, it scared the crap out of me, because that means the other one could crack, which is not good, because if this is sitting in your live well pumping water in to the boat and this cracks, it'll either stop pumping it in the live well, or it's just going to start pumping 1,000 gallons per hour into the boat, which isn't really going to work for me. So I'm going to have to get a new fitting or something. It's kind of annoying because I was all set up to fit them all, and then it also got $5,200 all over everything that now is cured and isn't even holding anything. It's just, I had $5,200 all the fittings, put it all together and spun it all up, and then it all blew up, so there's $5,200 all over the place, and now I gotta re-clean it out and all that crap to put a new fitting on it, but it is what it is. So we're gonna keep trucking away, but a little bit of progress update. It's like 10 or 11 o'clock, and this took way longer to try and fix than I expected, and the stupid tail light is kind of being a pain in the butt. Alright, update. It's been a long time since I've given you guys an update. A lot's gone on. Got the locker bar in, just got that mounted. It is absolutely perfect. It's lined up to where it's not laying on hatch lids or anything. Nice and snug. Cut it down absolutely perfect. I mean, it just fits just spot on perfect. It's kind of how it really went. Everything just went according to plan. Got all the gel coat stuff on the side of the boat done and sealed up, so that's sick. Did a lot of metal work, so I made these massive washers, like thick, really big washers. For the inside on the transom, because that's what they were looking like, and that's just not good. We're not okay with that. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna go bink
on either side. And they're going to fill up and cover all the stupid crap, so we don't have to worry about anything pulling through or jacking up the transom. So these are made, and that's for the big transom bolts. Got thick plate. I'll show you guys because I had ripped this whole console off. Steering wheel's completely loose right now. The boat's still all in a ton of pieces, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but I got a bunch of wiring stuff in. Starting to get to the point where it's like, man, am I going to be able to get this thing done? But we'll get it done. It's just going to be a pain in the butt. But it's going to be really, really sexy when it's done. The wiring harnesses and stuff came in, so I got to go home and go get that stuff. I got to get some sleep. And ideally some food because I'm starving. But we got these plates, a big plate mounted all up on the inside and cut perfectly, and everything is just spot on. Leveled up right. Fit the 16 Live, which looks beautiful back there. All that stuff just went according to plan today. I cut everything perfectly, no mishaps really, other than snapping a screw off in the hole right next to the hole I drilled to fit that cup. So there was only one place that screw could go, and it broke off right in the hole. So I tried to drill it out, didn't happen. So I just drilled all around it, pulled the piece out, and then put epoxy in it, and then had to let all the epoxy dry before I could put that cap in. But outside of that, I mean, everything's been perfect. I think I'm gonna have to live with this shroud being cracked. Although if I look at the inside, it's spider cracked and beat the crap. I think I'm gonna have to live with it because I can't find anything online, which sucks. But this plate is gonna be rock solid, so that's sick. It's the console itself is tilted really poorly, so I made a spacer plate. I cut and sanded down a spacer plate and made this whole thing entirely on my own to support the crap out of the graph. Made a spacer plate for it. Just everything came out perfect, but it's rock solid. I got all the stuff on Livewell's done, so I made these custom little things for each one. Bought fasteners and thread locked them to tighten. I had to cut square holes in all the tabs, so it was kind of difficult, and bend them and everything. But it all came out perfect. Kill tag holders are on there, vents are on there. They actually lock now. Got the springs on, which are, if you haven't already done these on your boat, they do it a lot on saltwater boats. Not necessarily Livewells, I don't think. Probably Livewells too, but I know a lot on just regular hatches too on saltwater boats. They run these springs. I put them on my TR20, and man, it's just something I had to do on my TR21 because who the heck doesn't love their Livewell just staying open for them and not yanking on the hinges? That's what happened on the TR20 is the hinge started giving out, so I put the springs in and I epoxied the holes and put fresh fasteners in. Did that on either side, so the Livewells are rock solid. It's kind of great. I kind of starting to take pride in the work we got going on here. Springs on either side, Livewell vents on either side, aerators on either side, 1,000 gallon per hour pumps on everything, which usually it's like 500 or 750 gallon per hour pumps. I'm running 1,000 on everything, so the system should be perfect. Everything should be absolutely spot on, beautiful. Everything should work flawlessly. I think the boat's gonna be an absolute rock star. I feel like I'm putting like race car engine stuff in a Prius. It's not a Prius, but in like a high-end sports car and just tricking it out, honestly. So I'm just very pleased with kind of how everything's gonna turn out when it's done. It just takes a long time to do stuff on the boat. Happy the gel coat stuff's done. I widened that because that was all squished in there. I think this was a replacement piece put in by somebody because it was put in there way too tight. And so I had to widen that up to where it would actually fit nicely in there.
and the fasteners would be able to grab. Because what happened before was it was so tight that this wouldn't actually draw all the way up. It was sitting far off, and then the plate that covers it wouldn't actually be able to draw all the way up because the box couldn't draw all the way up. So it was sitting like that, and this is not that good. So now it's going to sit flush. It's the little things. Everything on the boat's going to be absolutely spot on. I redid cups. Everything's this is locked right now. As you can see from the holes on the sea deck. I redid like the cups and stuff, like the joints and stuff for gas shocks. I have gas shocks coming in if they're not here already. I got some big orders at the house I got to go open. And so I'm putting new gas shocks on. All the hatches are ready to receive gas shocks, which is great. So I don't have to worry about that and making sure everything lines up. I have the gas shocks. One of them's already put in, works good. The other ones, I get those in, and I get to just slap them on and call it a day. So, sweet. There's other things that need to be done, specifically wiring, pulling things off the other boat, and things like that. There's definitely some other stuff I did that I'm forgetting, but anyways, things are coming along good. I'm tired. It's December 5th, the night of December 5th. And ideally, I'd like to be done by like the 25th-ish. So it sounds difficult to do, but 20 days, I'll be fine. It's just going to take a long time and a lot of working, but it'll be rock solid. The boat's going to be a beast, and it's going to perform better than any boat I've ever ran, period. I'm going to make sure it does. So there's other junk I'd like to do to like trick it out. So like on these panels that go here and stuff, it's like, why not just put a speaker on there? Because I've never ran speaker on a boat. I usually just run my phone with some music, or I'll run like the speaker that's been playing in the shop that I own. It's like a little JBL speaker. It's like, well, why not just put an actual system in there? So I don't know. I kind of thought about running some wiring for that. There's a bunch of stuff, but it's ready for the motor to be put on and the jack plate to be put on and the power poles to be ran on and things like that. Ordered batteries. I have a massive list of things that I've been doing and working on and ordering and da-da-da-da-da-da. So everything's looking good. Everything's coming along. There's definitely some stuff I'm forgetting to show you guys. It's not coming to mind right now, but anyways, things are looking good. It's kind of like piecing together slowly, a little piece at a time. And I know it probably doesn't look like a ton's happening, but also things take a really long time, like a lot longer than you'd expect. Like literally just making these and hole sawing through a plate that thick, overheated drill like 10 times. So I had to jigsaw it and then sand them down, drill the center hole, all sorts of crap. It takes way longer than you'd think on like all that stuff. So whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna see what we got in the mail, see what's up next on tomorrow's agenda. I have to go get hardware and stuff to mount this graph and things like that, like 1/4-inch hardware. And I gotta pull this back off again and then put bigger 1/4-inch fastener there, 1/4-inch fastener in the middle, 1/4-inch fastener here. I'll show you guys what it looks like when this is all off, because it looks really good. Turned out great. It's gonna be rock solid. So very excited, but I just gotta wait till tomorrow to do some of that stuff. And it looks great with the actual 16 up here. It's just, I don't feel like putting it there right now, so sorry. But I will soon. And everything's gonna be rock on here real shortly. So yeah, sweet. Very excited, and gonna head on home and try and do a little better with the updates. But yeah, a little sneak peek of a wiring diagram, not quite fully set up, but you kind of get the point. Got an Elco charger in the back with the through-hole plug, big wire fittings that are for crimping. We can get to work and put the panels in. Lights, active torque, the right size, but I'll show you kind of what the setup is for that. So as you can see, these are 1/4-inch fasteners that you leave. These are size 8 fasteners. And you're probably like, dude, that's way overkill. Yeah, good. I like overkill. I'm really good at breaking things, and I'd rather it not break than, you know, break and be underkill. So that's what we're rolling with. It is rock solid. The whole console flexes pretty much before that plate at all. This has this starboard piece that I sanded down to match the angle there, and then 2 of these spacer washers that I bought, and one of them was too big, so I sanded it down to fit on the other side to give it the perfect tilt and make it level. So I just wanted to double check and make sure my Coltex fit, which they fit perfectly, and it's just enough to where you can keep that spare 6 and 7 if you want on there. I guess you could keep a total whole nother 5 if you want them jammed on there, but they sit nice and loose, nice and how you kind of want them, so you can just come in, grab it, slap it on your fish. So that's perfect, and it's just enough to where I can add a little bit more. The spring that I put in is way sturdier than the other one because I did replace that, and the live well system is just spot on perfect. It's got the vent system, it's got a hatch support to keep it open, which also supports that and just makes working around the live well a whole lot easier, calling fish, all sorts of stuff. Custom tabs, custom aerator, 1,000-gallon-per-hour pumps, live well system is added to the bone, so fish should be very happy. Next step is going to be running wiring for all the pumps through the side and just plopping it all out here. So whenever I make my switch panels and put those in, I can just connect those things to that. Fuse box is going to hide in here with a Perco switch probably too. And I'm just waiting for the Impulse lithium batteries to come in now so I can figure out exactly lengths wise on wiring before I start cutting, because I'd hate to spend literally that order. Doesn't look like a lot. That's like well over $1,000 in wiring. And the very last thing you want to do is spend that much on literally cable and then cut it to the wrong length. So I'd like to wait till the batteries get in, so I cut it all at the right lengths. I make sure everything lays right in the back of the boat. It's not a hot mess, and everything looks nice and neat and clean and perfect. So when you need to fix things, when you need to track things down, or even you just want to save space back there, everything's nice, neat, and clean. So that's the plan. The live well stuff that runs from the fittings that actually connect to the pumps and run through, though, I can leave those alone and get those done for now. So that'll take the mess of 8 of those positive and negative 8 wires for each done. So that'll clean that up in the back, and then I can also probably get this center done if I have enough extra wiring. So we'll see. And then, yeah, soon we're going to go back to the house. Not tonight, but another night. We're going to get back to the house. We're going to trim or take all the stuff that I plan to swap off this boat and get that all disconnected or loose, or at least tied it up and taken off. Things that I can, things that I can't. Get things loosened and removed to the best of my ability, so when I bring that boat over here, I can just rip that stuff off when I get it here, toss it on this boat, and start actually getting things connected. So we got back to work today. Got the custom little guy mounted and all that junk. Made a run to the hardware store today, Harbor Freight. I picked up a 2-ton, like a little crane jacky guy, motor jack. And we just pulled the motor off the back. Now we're gonna take the jack plate off. So this motor's completely off right now. And me and Colin went to Home Depot and got a bunch of wood and built a motor stand, and we just finished hanging the motor and we bolted it all off, and it's good to go. Update! I'm trying to figure out where we left off, but a lot has happened. Everything's taped off right now right there because we lay in gel coat. So we got gel coat going on. Any leftover stuff, I might have to clean it all up and whatnot, but it's on there. Got it over here too. Laid in that whole area where all those holes were, and back in that corner to cover that up. Obviously, I'm gonna have to clean that up as well. What else? Found all the panels, piled them all up, got everything I needed, and just finished marking those out over here on this like 1/4-inch black starboard stuff. So got them all marked out. And I'm gonna cut those with a jigsaw. Gonna do some heating stuff to bend this, you know, to fit that side panel. Other things are flat, like these are flat, that's flat. Flat, this is what's on that other side underneath that gel coat where you see that big hole, like on Ye's side of the boat, there's that big hole there. That's for that, that was that foam pad. This is like that fuse box thing. Those are both for the console. That's for the console that have a slight curve to it. There's a piece I need to make up front too. And then these are both for, this is the shifter, forward, neutral, reverse guy right here. And then this is the piece right next to it, switch panel. So, you know, pump in, pump out, recirc, pump in, pump out, recirc, bilge bumps, and then all the other good stuff, lights and whatever. So those are all the panels for that. The only panel I haven't marked out yet is this front panel, and the reason being is because I'm not too impressed with, you know, the guy's job cutting this thing up. How this works is this is a piece, this whole gray piece right here, the centerpiece pops out, and this like other piece is designed to kind of seal the water, keep that out a little bit and make it look cleaner, fill up the space around it, whole 9 yards, you know? And since they absolutely chopped the crap out of it to line it up for the trolling motor, which on my boat, instead of destroying this, I just put a spacer underneath, a block to mount my trolling motor to give it a little more height and line it all up right. And it came out well. They chopped the crap out of the thing, and I don't really like that because when it rains, I'll have water dumping into here. It's going to go into the boat. I know you're going to think like, well, it's not going to be a lot. If you've ever been in a Florida rainstorm and it's raining like bad and you're driving in it or towing your boat through it, the amount of water that actually hits the deck of your boat and everything, it's like just think of driving down the road when that water's hitting your windshield. It's hard, it's aggressive, there's a lot of it that comes fast. So if I'm running on pad, anything, a ton of water will end up coming through here. Probably by the end of the day, if it's been raining all day, it'll probably be like literally like 2+ gallons will end up coming through here. Getting soaked through the boat. I'll have tackle in here, I'll have rods in here, and that moisture content, when you get it around your tackle, sometimes you can't do anything about it. So like if I'm traveling and it's raining, I like to park under an awning since I don't have a cover for my boat. I intentionally don't put a cover on, but if I don't have a cover on, I'll pull under an awning or something and try and air everything out, open the hatches up. Sometimes you can't do anything about it. If it's like a 2-3 day thing where I'm gone, like a weekend, I'll just brave it through the rain, let everything get rained on. The second I get home, you have to do this. You have to pull all the stuff out of your boat, at least in all of the expensive stuff. Anything that's going to rust. Tackle, soft plastic can soak up, reels, all that stuff. You want it all out. You need to let everything air dry. And the least amount of water you can let get into the hull, the better. So that needs to be fixed. I'm curious if I can order another piece online, so I'm holding off on that for now. That's why that isn't marked out, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to end up doing there. It's possible I could even get some sort of like a tubing myself just to line this with and then clamp this piece to it. So I don't know. We're going to play around with options and take our time there. Everything back here is done for now. You know, the flow rate switch and everything looks great. It's all cleaned up. Sorry, there's dusties on here, but everything looks great. It's all cleaned up for now. You know, bilge pumps, pump in, pump out, recirc, all that's in. Everything's tightened up. Everything's good to go. New fuel lines in. Some of the next things I need to do is hatch springs for live wells to support them open. V2 vent system needs to be mounted. I need to take the hole saw right there and drill holes, stick that guy in. Stick this guy in over here, which will end up going flush to deck. This will get mounted on the inside of the live well, probably right in there for my cull tags. And then these will get mounted both on the centerpiece. So I have to do that. The motor and the jack plate got removed on the jack stand. I mean, come on now. That's some CFAB special work right there. Money tight. Dash panel in, cut out to fit. Custom mounting plate. Just slap the fuel gauge in there, just for the heck of it. Got the steering wheel back on. The whole console reconnected. Cut these plates, drilled them, and put them in. Didn't tighten them up yet because I wanted to be able to run wiring behind there and all that. Side panel on. And I gotta say, man, it looks pretty freaking sweet. I'm pretty proud of it. It's not done, but it looks pretty bad to the bone. I mean, come on. That's pretty sick. I'm pretty proud of that. HGS Live 16. Rock solid. Nice. All custom work. There's still all sorts of other crap I gotta do. I gotta put, you know, power pole switches and Bob's machine jack on there, Suzuki gauge, all sorts of crap. I gotta put these panels in on the sides. They're gonna get these rocker switches red. That'll light up to match the boat. So bink. Be one up top like that. And then this one below. Like that. And then ignition and kill switch and all that crap down there. So I gotta get those panels in and get those cut. Already cut, but I gotta rework them a little bit and get them all dolled up, put screw holes in them, get them actually attached. That'll look nice. Didn't get to run wiring. It's a little bit later than I'd like to be up, but hey man, we got some stuff done. So, is what it is. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. I was up till like 4 last night. And pretty exhausted. Haven't been able to make pre-made meals yet for this week just because work has been, between this and actually working, there's just no time. And every time I get finished with this, Publix is closed to get food, so I'm starving right now. I can't even get food right now. It's like 3 in the morning and everything's closed. So I'm actually starving. I'm fixing to go to sleep, but everything looks good. Everything's still going according to plan. Still have a lot of work to do. Didn't get to run wiring for live wells. Didn't get to run wiring harnesses for graphs and like main electronics yet. Waiting for some Impulse lithium batteries to come in, and then I can slap those in the boat. And once I get those in the boat, I can start running wiring and getting things mounted, because I don't know how much space I have back there to actually run wires here, run wires there, this, that, whatever in the transom. And also I don't know how much scope I need, because I'd hate to place the big order I did, which was like over $1,000 in wiring stuff, and then get it in after waiting all this time, cut all sorts of wiring down, and then have it not fit correctly. So I'm just waiting for the batteries to get in to do it all right and in the correct order. But I could run the live well duplex wiring, but I didn't have time for that yet. This took a long time. This is all custom. All this crap, all these panels are custom cut. The mounting plate, this is on custom cut. The whole dash is slanted. It's not level. So I had to like shim the side and build plates to actually level the graph, because the console's like this, so I had to shim this out. So the plate itself is custom, and then I did all sorts of work to make it actually fit and sit right. It's rock solid though. It looks pretty good. It's by far gonna be the cleanest boat I've ran ever when it's done so far. It's not quite done yet, but it's looking good. Still got a lot left to do. Have got a lot done, but I still have a lot left to do. That's what I've been up to. And yeah, I'm gonna try and get some sleep. I'm actually covered in fiberglass. Try and get some sleep. This weekend, doing some duck hunting. And then gonna go hop in the car with Josh after we get back. Drive to the Keys, try and kill wahoo. And then come back and get back on the boat project. So, yeah, I got about 20 some odd days to get this done. And it's gonna be tight, but I think I can do it. Just gotta pull some more late nights, bust it out, and then go put some absolute mega bags in the boat. Easy peasy. So, peace.
These are the fucking choke bitches.
So I got on working on the red boat today. We pulled the whole jack plate and the Suzuki off, ripped out all the gauges, all the wiring for that, and everything got pulled off of this boat for the Suzuki, and tabs and all that stuff. These are just Suzuki gauge and all this junk. What else? Yeah, it's torn apart right now, and then we got the jack plate and power poles and all that off. Just mounted it. Got 5200 on it all. It's all nice and tight. And got that done for now. So it's all tightened up. Got our massive transom plates on there. Trying to think. That's about all for now. Now we're gonna put this big motor on, which is bouncing around. And we're gonna get him set up on there, which is now starting to look like a boat. And then we can start to do rigging. So sweet. All right. This boat's pretty much stripped now. Trolling motor gone. There's an active target box still on it, but outside of that, pretty much all the stuff that was on this boat's gone. I'm not stealing the mount. It's just in here for now. So that Panther mount will go back up there with both of the graph mounts, but the trolling motor's in here, so I stole that. I'm just keeping that for now for a spacer, strap, all the electronics for 360, active target, the hydrowave, and all sorts of other odds and ends. Suzuki gauge wiring, throttle stuff that's been taken apart. Suzuki gauge itself is going to fit perfectly right here. Pink. You're going to sit just like that. So, yeah, it looks good. The motor is on for now. And it looks solid. It looks really good on the boat. So, pretty proud. 16's on there. Heck yeah. A lot of good progress for today. We're gonna take this boat back home, which is now the Bare Bones boat. And then, you know, we'll finish this up, and then we'll end up pulling that motor, hiding back there, and probably putting it back on here. So that's it for now. It's like 6:30. It's been a long day, long day. We got a bunch of wiring stuff to do coming up, but very exciting. A lot of great progress. And yeah, we're gonna head home. Well, it's like 4:50 in the morning. It's almost 5 o'clock. But all the wiring for the motor has been ran through a nice hosing, tubing, dude. Connected to the Suzuki very cleanly. That last little cable there is for the jack plate, the Bob's Machine Shop jack plate. I cut these fittings off because I was looking for a replacement thing from Ace, and all these lines I'm gonna run through these holes, but those holes are being lame. So I'm gonna make brackets with this plate and grommets that'll run through there. If I can find through-hole grommets that are like thick enough to actually grip this, because that is like literally like that thick. So I'm just gonna make a bracket and run them through, and they'll look great, and call it a day. Trying to think what else. Ran all the wiring through. We got the Suzuki gauge put in, which looks nice. We built out this custom panel, which looks nice. Got the kill switch on there, the key and everything. I mean, couldn't have been put in more perfectly. Just perfect heights, perfect everything. Ain't even dangling on nothing. So money. Had taken this apart, so I got it all put back in and reconnected. Even heated up and curved the edge to match the edge of the boat, which just looks phenomenal. Put gas shocks in. This one, for some reason, has the wrong size thing, so now I gotta find another gas shock, especially at 14¼ inches to fit this one. But these two are good now. This one's good now. That one just needs one shock left. Just finished putting this nav light in. I wanted to build a plate for it because the whoever had the boat previously, they'd ran a circular one, so it had a big ring. So I just wanted to cover that up and all the screw holes. So I made a little plate for this guy that when I tightened it up, suctioned everything down. So that's done and taken care of. I might try and mount the trolling motor if I can today. Yeah, it's looking like a boat. Things are starting to come together. I'm probably gonna get live well wiring done too, with that Ancor duplex over there, and run that through and out the console up here. Got the hot foot mounted too as well, and also a instead of what they did, which was just drill a hole and then smash it with the cap, I just put a whatever it is clamshell there. It's a nice stainless steel clamshell, and looks much better and matches the stainless steel accents of the boat that I've been putting on all over, like all the little screws and cup holders and handle and, you know, blocks and all sorts of stuff. It just matches the vibe of the boat nicely, makes everything look clean. It's got all the stainless steel here, you know. Little cups on the side. Also got these screwed down because it was coming up loose. I know that you can also just buy replacements of this stuff, this trim, but I don't feel like doing that and waiting for it, so I screwed it down because it was already screwed down in several places. And if I ever feel like redoing it, I can always just go over those holes and patch them up with like 5200 or some sort of epoxy resin or something like that. So I'm not too worried about it, and I really don't care. All right, guys, what's going on? I'm trying to remember the last update I did. But we've got a good bit more work done. Things are cleaned up. You know, the panels and whatnot are built and in. I just finished making these power pole fittings. I made plates, cut them, put grommets in, screwed them into the transom using the pre-existing holes that were already drilled into the transom, and widened them with a step bit to where the grommet wasn't touching the hole and it would sit flush. Money. So those are in for the power pole hose to run through though, there and into the transom. That's on either side. Also, I got bulkhead fittings to run the steering through, and got new fittings for the steering, crimped, cut and crimped and ran through and everything for that. Got motor hose mounted. Started working on laying out the bilge wiring and figuring out how much I need to cut in sections and whatnot, because I got a 100-foot spool of duplex. Ancore duplex, which is not cheap wire. Anything Ancore is not cheap, but it's the good stuff that you want. So solid, so that's good. I just gotta figure out what lengths I need, and then I can run them through. And out here, everything else is looking good. I just gotta run this fuel gauge, whatever it is called, the sender for the fuel gauge. I just need to run the wires for that through here and out into here. I don't even have to really connect it right now. I just need it ran through. And then once it's ran through, I can slap the cap back on and tighten that up, because I did run the hot foot through there. So I don't have to worry about running anything through here and getting the hot foot set up beforehand. So once I get this wiring done, cap can go back on. And yeah. Next things coming up are wiring. A lot of wiring. I gotta figure out what I want to do for a through-hole fitting for the Bob's Machine jack plate. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do that. What I'm kind of thinking is just centering in between these two a nice spot like right at the EA, where I can just run any extra stuff I ever feel like putting on the boat, or maybe have it matter like right here so it's kind of low. I don't know. I like it to be above the water line, because these are going to be watertight. These are watertight. This is going to be watertight. So I'd like this to be watertight, but I don't think I'll be able to find something watertight for this, because that's not able to come off. I could cut it and redo it, but then that voids a warranty on the jack plate. It says it on the jack plate wiring harness, which is hiding somewhere. It says, I believe it literally says it on it, or it did. Yeah. So, warranty void if wires have been cut. So I don't know if it's specifically for that, or if that counts too, but I'd hate to cut something and then take it to them because I have a problem and they go, oopsie, sorry bud, your warranty's void because you cut a wire like a dippy. So I'm a little afraid to do that. I could just give them a call and ask before I put a through-hole fitting in. But I know you can get larger fittings where it's more of like a spider looking thing where you just press through and it opens like a bunch of little plastic triangles, or like silicone triangles that this will pop through. And it's not the cleanest fit, but I could do that, or something similar to this concept, which is for this. I decided to go with the one that actually screws in, but I could go with a concept similar to this. It's a much smaller version, so I can tighten it on the cord. So that's another option. Not exactly sure how I want to go about that yet. But things are coming along well. Things are looking very nice. The back end of the boat looks much cleaner than any of the back ends of future boats or past boats I've ran. It all looks nice outside of this cord just dangling. Looks very clean. Looks real clean. Everything's set up perfect. There's no crap sitting all over back there, which is nice. Gosh, I'm trying to think what else I got to do. Outside of wiring, that's pretty much it once I get this stuff done. I got to put batteries in and make battery mounts for batteries. I got pretty much everything else in I can think of. Live wells are completely done. Pumps are in. I just got to pretty much run wiring, get things actually connected to batteries. Finish up a handful of things like this and that and that. And put like power pole switches on there, which are hiding somewhere. They're probably over here. So I got to mount like some power pole switches and jump like that, but nothing like major. Why is that one heated? I forgot to show the little foam pieces I made. I cut them up. I fitted them nicely to size and cut them with a jigsaw at an angle so they got that curved edge to them, kind of like these do. And also got that one there. Seems like really simple stuff, and it is, but it takes a little while, and just made things look nice there instead of having those old crappy pieces that were peeling. So yeah, solid. Alright, so I just finished putting together the CM2 pumps. I didn't buy the upgrade kit thing that has the dash fob and the lanyard fob thing, because it's like $200 in just switches per kit, so per pump. So it's like $400 in just stupid electronics I didn't need. So I didn't buy those. I bought it all in parts and then piece it all together. I cleaned everything up, the bases and all that, and then finally got everything all mounted together, everything nice and tight, and swapped out reservoirs and all that for the base, because the base is like the whole sort of thing that lets the hydraulic pump and everything work from PowerPole that you can't just buy, which is probably because if you have that piece, you could probably just buy any hydraulic pump and make it work. So, yeah, I had to clean that up and take them apart off of the old reservoirs. As you can see how disgusting they are. There was sludge like crazy in the bottom of these ones. Like really bad. A lot of it's already drained. But there's sludge all over. You can just see it even seeping through. It's like a green-yellow color, the whole thing. And both of them had a bunch of sludge and crap in the bottom. So, glad to get rid of those old reservoirs. These are the old pumps, which also are slimy and pretty nasty. The insides look good, but the outsides are pretty nasty. So, got those swapped. Now they're going to be mounted on the boat. Just got to drill holes and then put those on this plate back here because they'll fit right on either side. Bink and bink. I ran a bunch of wiring the other day. All the harnesses for the trolling motor stuff's done. That's completely done. Wired up, that's good to go. The Bob's machine jack plate has now been ran and is in the console, so that switch is connected. Everything's connected for this battery to these plates, other than the charging stuff for this, because I still want to call it Impulse Lithium and just triple check what I'm supposed to be doing there, just because this is not the one that Impulse Lithium gave me. This is a Noco, like a 3-bank charger, Noco Genius, which is what I had in the other boat, and it was a bad to the bone charger. So I bought one for this boat, but it's got 3 charging things for it. I don't know where the Impulse Lithium one went, but it has just one. You just plug it to the main one. So I guess I could use that, but I already built the plate and everything for this other one because I kind of wanted to use that because I'm already very familiar with that pump and I like it a lot, or the charger. So I wanted to just run that, but I might not end up doing that, or I just got to double check. Yeah, they told me it would work. I think if I remember right, what they said is I just have to stack all those leads. So I just got to double check that from them before I do that. Outside of that, kill switch or the Perco switches and all that are mounted. That whole plate over there is mounted. Everything looks nice. It's just wiring needs to be cleaned up and dolled up and just kind of tidied up. But outside of that, all the wiring's ran. This is for the big fuse block up there, which will run the switch panels and everything. So that's like live well stuff that'll end up running off of this fuse block, which is powered by these 2 cords. Lights, stereo, all that good stuff. Active target wall, run off that. This guy, or actually not active target, sorry, something else. I think active target gets some off the switch panel or something like that. Gets it off the switch panel, but it's it'll connect to the switch thing, but the power is going to be off of these cords. So these are the wiring harnesses that I made. So that's what these are for. I made wiring harnesses on the other boat, and they turned out really well and worked really, really well. So that's why we're doing that. That consists of, I believe it's just 6 and 8 AWG wire. I think a lot of guys use 8 and 10. I use 6 and 8. So you can see 6 AWG for both of the big ones, which the big cord runs all the way up front because it has to carry more load, and it's traveling a larger distance, so it's a bigger cord. The thing that's going just to the helm, I think is only running 1 or 2 graphs, 1 graph and active target or something up there. So, and it's also shorter, so it doesn't have to be as big of wire, and it also doesn't have as much amperage on it, so it's running smaller gauge. But these are done, so those can be mounted, and that's ran through. Outside of that, that's pretty much it. I just have to, all the fuel gauge stuff is done, so that just has to be connected. I built the plate for this. Let me see if I can get you a better visual of it. But the plate for that is built, and it looks nice, and it's got the bus bars, the teeny bus bars that the the wiring harness for the graphs runs to, so that's nice. Let me try to get under there a little better. So that's nice, that's hidden, that's all done. It just has to be mounted, but I'm not mounting it until I put this in because I want to bump that plate against the edge of this plate. So I want to get this one back in first, and then I can tidy that guy up. But to do that, I just have to run wires off of these for power for both my switch panels. The motor stuff is all done. That's all good. So this is all wired, like the actual key and kill switch and all that. That's good. Suzuki gauge, good. I just have to join up some of these wiring things and get these together. This is all live volt wiring, which is all numbered. So 7 bilge right, 4 pump in left, 2 recirc right, 8 bilge left. So they're all in order, starting from, I think, right to left, because right's my side, so I want mine just on this big switch panel. Pump in, recirc, pump out, pump in, recirc, pump out, bilge, and the other bilge. Probably, I think, running lights, active target, GoPro switch, stereo, and then yeah. So I also got just a few little odds and ends there I have to wire up, but outside of that, everything's connected. As you can see, all the wiring's actually connected on those, so that's good to go. Just got to feed on stuff for graphs. Graph wiring will be done pretty soon as well. This is for stereo, positive for stereo, or negative for stereo. The positives already ran through and on right here on the back of the switch panel. And then we also got the other stereo thing mounted, so that's already in. I had to cut behind this hot foot and everything with a jigsaw and a multi-tool. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but got that done. Active target box and the both the active target box and the stereo is mounted up under the console, so that's hidden. Can't even see it. Which I'll just probably run an aux cord or Bluetooth to that. But yeah, outside of that, it's just a little bit of wiring needs to be done. The pole pumps need to be mounted. Gotta put a little more steering fluid in steering cables and whatnot, just to make sure the hydraulic steering fluid is nice and tight and it'll steer the motor good. And then got to run like fluid in the power poles and stuff like that, and then sand the bottom of the boat, because I have a few places that I had done that epoxy stuff too, and it dried. It just needs to be sanded down a little bit, because you can see it's just chilling. It's just gonna get sanded down. But transducers mounted, everything's all good. Boat should be functional very soon, and then also obviously I got to run these power pole lines through the back of the boat, through the little whatever they're all, through hole fittings for the power pole hoses. Just got to run that through, and then put the little fittings for them on, which are hiding over here somewhere. But outside of that, should be all done. Seats go on real easy. They're not even like mounted. They just slide on those little tabs for the back plate. So outside of that, I think that's it. That's it. And fixing up little gig crap like that. But outside of that, that's done. So like all the main stuff's done. I just gotta bang this out. It should be a day or two, and then I'm like done. Good to put it in the water, go. Once I get the graph wiring figured out and stuff like that, tidying up. Obviously, there will be finishing touches like putting some stickers on, washing the boat, stuff like that after it's already all put together. But work-wise, I think 1 or 2 more days will be done. Then I can go start playing around with it. Local, I'll probably put it in a couple lakes local, just double check. Trolling motor, stuff works, graph stuff works, this, that, da 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 da. Live well stuff, double check my pumps, double check, make sure there's no leaks, this, that, whatever, and then I'll be good to go pre-fish and start kicking off stuff on Lake Okeechobee. So very exciting. It's still pretty early tonight. I think right now it's only like 7 o'clock or something like that. So we've got a bunch done and don't have that much left to do. So hopefully tonight I can bang a bunch more stuff out. The plan is to get all that taken care of tonight and put away and wired up, and then I can just run graph wiring. Oh, and I also have to make a plate that is going to go under this hot foot. There's a big hatch, and up at the front of that hatch there's holes already drilled, and so I'm going to widen one of the holes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the bus bars that'll run all the dedicated wiring harness stuff. I'm going to connect that to the front of this hatch up on the top side of the hole, so water, if it ever comes in, isn't going to drip onto it. So I'm not going to put it below, I'm going to put it up top. And I'm going to run wiring through and connect to that and have that all in the front of the box, because you can never end up fitting stuff all the way to the front of these boxes anyways, because the box is so long you literally can't push stuff that far into the box. It's just, it doesn't work. So like on the other Triton, it's just dead space anyway. So that's where the wiring for that's going to go. Active target box is already mounted, and then things like this, since I already have the CM2 switches, now I get to mount these foot switches because I know I'll be using these for sure, and I'm confident putting holes in the deck because now I have CM2 pumps. So stuff like that is pretty much all I got left, and then I'm done. Trailer's done, boat buckles, everything I think I've done. Maybe little teeny odds and ends, you know, stuff like putting new straps on the ends of these, little stupid stuff like that, cleaning, you know, double checking some things, sanding a few things down. But then, yeah, it's just double checking, tidying wires up, things like that, just making things look neat, nice and clean, all organized, and then I can go fish. So, very long process. It's taken a while. Things are finally getting close to the end. It's looking great, and I cannot wait to get this show on the road. I do have to say, shout out to the people at Impulse Lithium. They are bad to the bone. These batteries I got in here are seriously sweet. I can't wait to go crack some big bags with these and put them to work. The 12 volt big new heated battery that I got from them is so far absolutely awesome. And these two 36 volts I'm so excited about, because it is like literally doubling all the trolling motor power I had. And it's 36 volt instead of 24 volt. So it should put out more power, have a longer run time, and a much more like lengthened battery capacity. So I'll be able to just run probably days on end, versus some days if it was really, really nasty out and I was doing a lot of spot locking or on the trolling motor hard all day on like a 7 or an 8, I'd kill it if I fished from sunup to sundown. I had like 1 or 2 days on the red boat where in the entirety of using it, I ended up killing the battery. So having those 36 volts is literally going to be a game changer. I'm going to get more power out of the trolling motor. I'm going to have more capacity. It is going to be sweet. So shout out to Impulse Lithium. I couldn't be more pleased, and I'm very, very excited with how this boat's coming along. I can't wait to get it done, and I can't wait to go get this thing on the water. It has been over a month or more since I've touched a bass rod, so I can't wait to go get this thing done and go catch some fish. But I'm going to get back to it. And, yeah, hopefully give you guys another update in a day or two with it all tidied up and doing some fishing or something like that. Something not in here. So, yep. Peace. Well, late night again. It's 3 in the morning. Been working on the boat a bunch of days. A lot's gone on that I haven't really got on video. It's kind of just flew under the radar. So there's a lot of stuff that's happened that I didn't really catch at all. I should have ran like a GoPro in here on time lapse or something, because I've dumped a ton of time into it. It doesn't look like much changes because a lot goes on the inside of the hull, a lot goes on in wiring, a lot goes on in building, small little pieces and just teeny little intricate things that end up taking way more time than you would hope or expect. So yeah, I've been working a ton on it, and it's come a long way. Obviously things like your trolling motor is mounted, graphs are mounted and set up for right now. Got the Lowrance thing on, which is supposed to be like farther away. I had it like mounted over there on my other boat, but there was already a hole and a puck thing here, so I decided I might as well just reuse it. So if it gives me problems, I can always move it, but for now that's where that's at. Got this remounted, and got this mounted to the bottom, and And like, just to get something like this mounted, we had to cut and make a custom plate for the bottom because there wasn't enough surface area really touching with the old shape puck under there, even in starboard. So we had to make a new one, and just make it all nice and clean. So yeah, stuff like that's in. A bunch of big wiring's been done too, like running light wiring's been ran. A lot of stuff, like the little stuff, is to the point where it's just plug and play. So I have a good bit of stuff done, but the batteries aren't connected yet, so it's just not connected to the whatever yet. Still have to make a panel and put my fuse box there. Once the fuse box is in, I can actually connect things to it. Like this is running light wiring, and backlit wiring, as you can see, is spliced in to have light in the back of the fuel gauge. Fuel gauge is wired. Got a cutout for that, put that in. Suzuki works, all that's done and wired. Everything for the main motor is completely done and wired. Trim, all that is done. It just has to be connected to the battery. I've already done that, and everything works fine. So that's perfect. The jack plate switch is in, so I just have to run the jack plate wiring, which I put in the back. A bunch of fittings I custom made to run through hull fittings, some with grommets, some with like a modified grommet. I built a plate and put that in between two stringers, and it kind of looks like a mess back there right now, but it's not. It's actually very clean. It's just like literally put the stupid freaking wire right in the way, so it kind of cluttered everything up. But with all that junk out of the way, you can kind of get a visual and see how neat and clean everything is for right this moment. Trolling motor batteries are completely mounted, tightened up, everything, and they're good to go, solid, done. Already double checked that, got the foot swapped from a 24 volt to the 36 with the programming crap, and it's all good. And I also ran it's two cables, positive and negative, run all the way up there to the foot with like a Rodan plug that I also got all wired up and set up in there. So the Rodan plug, which is like hiding, is good to go. Or not Rodan, but battery tender, is set up and good to go. And so those two leads run all the way up there, connect to that, and then it's also got the plug-in from the foot. And then those wires on the gate all the way back here, I ran it to a, as you can see, I mounted a breaker. So it goes to a 50 amp breaker, the positive side. The negative just runs right to the battery, and then they're paralleled. So it's 2 times the capacity while on the 36 volt system. So they're paralleled, so the negative comes in, runs, connects the 2 batteries. The positive comes in, goes to the breaker, runs behind here up to the Perco switch, and then as you can see, it runs back and then connects on that side to the battery, which is also paralleled. So I have both my Perco switches on this side this time instead of one here, one there, which I had on my other boat. I had one for Bob's Machine, all that crap. My jack plate, my power pole accessories, trolling motor, I had that over there. And then this time I swapped it around. So I got both here instead of, you know, the other stuff I was talking about over there. And then over here I had all my other accessories. So got that ran. Already cut wires for my bus bars. They're all cut for this. I just don't have these tightened down yet because I still have to run these for the charger and connect them to things. But I want to double check with the guys at Impulse Lithium and just triple double check and make sure where exactly I want to connect those charger leads before I tighten everything up. So I didn't do that yet, kind of held off on that. But like all these batteries, I made custom trays for them. That one's like one big tray that's like screwed in. And also I run carpet in between my trolling motor batteries. I did that on the other one, in my other boat, with my other trolling motor batteries, and it really helped because having the batteries just together, they clack a lot and they can like beat each other up. So I put carpet in between. I made them nice and snug. As you can see, I cut pieces of angle and made them with the plate. Connected them to the plate, measured everything out to where it's perfect. Fits really, really snug. Listen to this. You can just hear how tight those straps are, which never really works when you get like the run-of-the-mill battery trays with their straps. They suck. So I built these completely, you know, piece by piece, and so I bought actual straps that hold them well. As you can see, that strap's hiding below this one that I custom made as well. So there's carpet on the bottom. These are like 1/4 inch, whatever it's called, starboard black plate with carpet on top, and then fastened to the sides and through our angles. And then the trolling motors, or the batteries are put in on top of that, and then the strap will run over. This strap's screwed in. That strap over there is not, but this strap's screwed in so it's centered. Got the Impulse Lithium distributor thing, which is it's like a run and charge system. So I already got that set up and in here. I just have to run the black and the yellow and run them over there and connect them up to that, and then I'll be all done there. Yeah, all that's mounted. It just things need to start getting connected. I'm gonna swap out purple pumps. I don't really want to run these in my new boat. This was running in the old boat. I bought them used, so as you can tell, it's not the same pump. They're different year and different model pumps. So my power pulse would sometimes go down at different times and lift up at different times. And so if I run the same model pumps that go up and down at the same time, you're like, why does that matter? Well, if one hits the bottom 2 seconds before the other one and you're moving, the boat angle turns before the other one hits the bottom, and then you're all out of whack sometimes. So probably going to get new pumps and put those in before, because also these are nasty. They leak a lot. Yeah, as you can see, it's like sludge that they accumulate from the green marine fluid crap being all over everything. Also got the transducer ran. So the transducer wiring and the Bob's Machine Shop jack plate wirings all ran through the hole and tidied up and clean. As you can see, nice and tight and mounted flush on the bottom, so it'll pick up while it's running. Another thing I'm doing, or just did, was I patched several spots on the bottom of the boat that were chipped, and so I just ran epoxy down there. Mixed up epoxy. I just did that. I figured that'd be one of the last things I did for the night before I headed home, just so it sets up and I come back and sand it tomorrow. Got speakers mounted. One speaker mounted. Got to mount the other one under here. Speaker wires ran through, and then up and under here. Oh, I forgot. Active target box is in. So I made a custom plate for that, like a shelf that it's mounted on, and then there's a shelf that this box is gonna sit on, which is it's all custom crap that I put on and mounted and whatever. So I gotta run the wires through, then connect the wires, and then I can mount this box. But I made it, so it's already good to go. And as you can see, he slots right up in there. And so the Bob's Machine, or not the Bob's Machine, the extra target box is hiding up there, as well as the speaker box will be hiding under the console for stereo and all that stuff. So that's pretty slick. Yeah, I still gotta put one speaker back behind there, make a plate, but a lot of the other wiring's been ran, and a lot of the tedious work is done. It's pretty much just wiring and connecting things. The only hold off on this and why it's not in is because I can't fit behind there with a jigsaw or anything else to cut it with. So what I'm gonna do is just buy a hole saw that's like, I think 5 and whatever, 3/4 inches or whatever the size is, and then cut that out so I can mount that nice and clean without messing everything up or having to pull the hot foot out, so where I can actually use a big power tool. But yeah, outside of that, a lot's going on. There's a lot of, I'm definitely forgetting. There's a lot of things that took a long time, like measuring and making the battery trays, making the plate to mount the NOCO charger and other things too. That all takes a long time. much longer than you'd expect. So I got that. This is actually all rock solid, by the way, too, which is wonderful. Yeah, just gotta run some more wiring and stuff, and then I should be good. I have to make a wiring harness for any of the electronics, like my graphs. I have to make a wiring harness that'll connect to those. Have to run the wires from the batteries to the console that the fuse box connect to, which is just cut 2 wires, put them in, but I gotta make the plate first. Gotta, wire up power poles. Trying to think, outside of that, that's pretty much it. Just, snake some wires through, sand up the bottom of the boat, clean up some of those spots. Fit up a couple plates, tighten some things like this, put the fasteners back in. Put the fasteners back in and tighten things up. And, run graph wiring, crap like that. But outside of that, it's pretty much done. Like I said, there's probably some things I'm forgetting. There's definitely things I'm forgetting to mention that I did. Because I've done a ton of crap. But anyways, things are coming along great. It's probably like 3-something in the morning now. So I'm going to head home. It's right before Christmas. We're still right on track with our deadline, which is phenomenal. So that's great. Yeah. First tournament's January 14th. Planning to take the 7th and the whatever of January weekend and pre-fish. Probably going to take like 2 days off work too, right before the tournament pre-fish. And yeah, hopefully I have the boat done within this next week here. Next couple days. And I'll be all good. Sweet.
It's done, dude!
Oh my gosh, guys. She's done. She's done for now. Yeah, everything's on it. I'm gonna make an updated video when it's bright out. But I got everything done. Everything's mounted. It looks phenomenal, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, literally everything's done. And it looks great. Everything's super clean. It all looks really, really nice. And it turned out bad to the bone. So when it gets bright out, I'm gonna show you guys with a little better lighting what all we did and give you a rundown. But everything works, everything's ran. The only 2 things I'm gonna do left is zip tie a few cords that are under there, just tidy them up, and sand those spots on the bottom of the boat that I had epoxied. And outside of that, there's like little stuff, like reattaching trim pieces if I want to put fasteners in and get little end caps for stuff like that. Putting a little sticky cushion guy on that for the foot. Yeah, really basic stuff at this point. Just double checking everything, make sure all the fittings are dry. Just double checking all the electronics, letting things run for a while, letting, usually when you rewire a boat like this and redo the whole entire boat, it's smart to go splash in the water and fish a full day or 2 full days on it. And just see what happens. See if anything goes wrong. Run a bunch of pumps while you're fishing, and just get to know the whole new setup on the boat. You got to make sure that you're not going to have you don't have batteries somehow overloaded and things are going to trip, or things aren't going to run right and it's going to draw too much power, or something's wired wrong and when you hit waves it shuts off, or this or that or whatever. So you got to double check all sorts of stuff. Just make sure everything runs right. But for now, that's done. So it should be rock solid. Everything should be bad to the bone, but man, it looks great. And I am so excited to go play around in this brand new rig of mine. So, heck yeah. That's the video the live well system's running. Which, as you can see, there's mad water flow going on. You can see stuff flowing around, how much water the 1,000 gallon per hour is actually pushing in the tank is absolutely insane. So the aeration is money on the research. The V2 system, they're going to keep extra oxygen flowing in and out of the wells, get rid of all the hot air, replace with colder water and air, and help cool things down. The live well systems are awesome. So that turned out great. Very pleased with that. On either side. That's why I put them in. I absolutely love them. They do a great job keeping fish healthy. So those are in. I already checked bilge and whatnot, and those are solid. You can see how much actual aeration is going in the well and how much it's pumping things around. So heck yeah, absolutely awesome. And can't wait to put some fish in these things. Well, there you have it. The TR21 is complete. Looks phenomenal. Thing is bad to the bone. Everything's been redone. Everything on the entire boat. And it is absolutely wicked. I mean, I could not be more proud. Thing looks great. Thing's gonna fish great. Thing's gonna be super fast. Surprisingly, a lot of it ended up color matching really well, so it looks great. Just, I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect. Literally a dream rig, and it's not a brand new rig either. It's a 2003 rig, I think, reworked to be exactly what I would want in a boat and more. The hull is absolutely menacing. Looks bad to the bone. Thing looks quick. Thing looks sharp. Clean. Trailers reworked. Got lights and everything on it. The seats are out of it because I just cleaned them, but outside of that, everything on the boat is absolutely spot on perfect. There's little teeny touch-up things you could do here and there, but that's the same way it is on literally any boat. So that's life. Through hull fittings, everything came out completely awesome. Through hull hydraulic steering, through hull for any of the things like the motor fuel lines and the actual motor power lines, cables, motor cables, and trim switches, everything is all ran through hull, so it looks bad to the bone. Impulse lithium stuff is all in, which is freaking amazing. Love Impulse lithium goodies. Only got 2 Percos on this side, which I'm running. Impulse lithium, yep, new blade pumps instead of CM2 pumps instead of CM1 pumps. So I got those replaced, reworked those. They look great. The charging system's in, that Noco charger. The cable plug there's in. 36 volt trolling motor system's in. I mean, everything's just sick. Live well system's absolutely rock solid. I haven't got to play with it on the water yet, but everything is 1,000 gallon per hour pumps, even bilge pumps. So it's gonna be sick. It's perfect. Everything about it's perfect. We got an upgraded aerator system, upgraded pump in and pump out pumps, stuff for call tags, V2 vent systems on top. Everything about it is just perfect. Absolutely tons of custom work went into it. Completely remade panels, all matching. Got stereo in the boat. There's the fuse box. There's a radio.
Those lights are like kind of lights.
Active target.
Man, we saw the biggest coyote.
Everything is absolutely sick and perfect. So heck yeah. Put deck lights in. So we even got deck lights on the boat for rigging. They don't look that bright, but it'll be plenty to see whatever we need to. Got some on the side of the console too. So I mean, it's just sick, sick. It's got everything I need and more. Looks great. Out of the bone. And heck yeah, I can't wait to go fish in it soon. So, rock on. And glad it's finally done.
Hey.